Good morning. Let's do this. Happy Friday, Cotter and Marshall Show. Hop on the stream, join the horde, watch the show. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe while you're hanging out. Don't forget you can listen to the show. Download the app for free. Get us in your in-home smart speaker. Check us out on the website, rock1061.com. Happy Friday, Marshall.
Happy Friday to you.
Good news. The Pop Evil date has been announced.
Officially, yes.
August 31st to Tuesday night.
Yeah, better than a Monday.
It's better than a Monday.
Yeah, so it actually turned out in our favor. Finally, COVID did something right.
If you bought tickets for the first date, they're honored for this date.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't make it, Victory North said just reach out to them. They'll take care of you there.
Yeah.
And I think there's still some tickets available if you want to buy some as well.
100%. We have the show coming up, which is very exciting. I don't know if you saw it. I'm going to repost it today, but Sonny of POD, he has laid out a challenge for the city of Savannah.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Filthy Nasty put up this video yesterday. I'm going to share it later on to our socials.
Okay.
Just, a little nugget of something to look forward to later on today. There you go. You're welcome.
I'm excited to have POD back as well. That show coming up in September at Victory North. They played here years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Played a show at the Civic Center. They opened up for 3 Days Grace, and they actually did a little acoustic thing for us out of Savannah Harley-Davidson. Super cool guys.
Yeah.
So to see them in a venue like Victory North, I think, is just going to be completely badass.
Yeah, and they're loaded with great bands that are supporting them. 4 bands that night. So that is well worth your ticket price in POD next month.
All right, so you want to check out all the shows coming to the area because there are a lot. You can hit up the website, rock1061.com. Coming up on the show today, we got beer for breakfast. It is brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. Nick Snyder from Brewdog going to be in studio. I got some trivia, your chance to win some great stuff. Bad news with some Welcome to Rockville bands deciding to not do the show.
Right.
We'll discuss that at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to talk wrestling. It's a big weekend for the pro stuff if you're down for that. Also, call, comment, and text 800-394-1061. What is the best or worst moment from school that you remember clearly to this day? Want those stories? So hit us up, and we'll kick off the show with About Last Night's OnlyFans. I give it a week after they made this announcement. I don't think it lasts after they kill what is their bread and butter. Don't be an a-hole on a plane. And Trevor Bauer, he's going through some stuff. We'll talk about that. It's coming up next. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 1061. Foo Fighters and Making a Fire. Enjoy.
Morning, everyone. Nice and early on this beautiful Friday on the chat. Do appreciate that.
Good morning.
Got a loaded weekend ahead of us. Tons of stuff to check out locally here in the movie theaters, on your televisions. Definitely a bunch of stuff coming to you this weekend, so it should be a fun one.
Yeah, I do believe I am going to still go watch Free Guy.
Don't say things you don't mean.
No, after work, I'm going to go. Now, I may fall asleep. Not saying I won't, but I'm going to go.
Yeah, Charles, I kind of mean high school, but if you got a good story for college, we're not going to not take it.
Yeah.
Feel free to share it in the chat. Feel free to call us.
Whatever you got.
Yeah, just as long as it's not you like hanging out outside of a school, waiting for someone.
There's the restraining order that prevents that, so he's fine.
A bunch of stuff happened after we put together the show yesterday afternoon. Ton of stuff. So I got a ton of stories here. But I think the weirdest one is about Danny DeVito.
Oh, I didn't see this.
So Danny DeVito, you know him from obviously a ton of stuff. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I guess, is his last work.
Most recent, yeah.
Most recent. He has gotten unverified on Twitter. So yesterday he tweeted out in support of the Nabisco strike that is currently going on. He said, support Nabisco workers striking for humane working hours, fair pay, and outsourcing jobs. No contracts, no snacks. Shortly afterwards, Twitter removed his verified status after he tweeted that.
Okay.
Now, Twitter's verification process is obviously very finicky. But for some reason, it disappeared after he tweeted that. Now, he's obviously, before that, he was verified, little blue check mark.
Yeah.
But for some reason, he supported the Nabisco strike, and then suddenly they unverified Danny DeVito.
What does Twitter have against Nabisco?
Or no, actually, what does Twitter have against Danny DeVito? Twitter and Nabisco obviously working hand in hand.
That's true.
So I don't know what's going on. But what's really cool is something I didn't know is Danny DeVito is obviously still working with the Always Sunny guys, but he's doing some other stuff. He's currently working on a comic about the Penguin, obviously a character he played in 1992 for Batman Returns, and he will voice a character in the animated show Little Demon alongside Aubrey Plaza that's currently getting made. So interesting stuff. Yeah, he completely got unverified. If you go to Danny DeVito's Twitter page right now, it's just doesn't have the little blue check mark, and people saw that, and it became kind of a story yesterday. So I wanted to share that because I thought that was really strange.
I mean, that is weird because, I mean, celebrities spout off on Twitter all the time, just about anything, if they wanted to, defend something, this, whatever.
We got politicians screaming out like stuff that's literally not true about one another, COVID, all sorts of other things. But Danny DeVito gets unverified for talking about Nabisco. Snack people.
Yeah, that one's weird.
Charles goes, 500 feet isn't as far as you think it is.
All right, guys, be right back. Story one. Trevor Bauer hasn't thrown a pitch since late June. We'll tell you why. Coming up next, about last night. So Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer has been on administrative paid leave from Major League Baseball since early July. I didn't know that was a thing. So this was kind of news to me. Now, the leave was recently extended for the 6th time and will now run through August 27th. Bauer has been accused of sexual assault by a woman and is currently being investigated by both Major League Baseball and the Pasadena Police Department. Now, he is accused of taking things too far during a couple sexual encounters that took place in April and May. Now, of course, the pitcher and his lawyers have maintained that everything happened. Those dates were both consensual between him and the accuser, who has not been named.
Yeah, and they're currently in court kind of fighting out whether the restraining order that they currently have is something that could be extended to like a 5-year length, or it will end currently at what it's is currently set to end, which I think here is in the next few months. Now, they shared a bunch of, dirt against one another in this court case, where this is weird. Now, this lady that is accusing him of doing all these things to her, including hitting her during sexual periods of time, says that she actually texted her Alcoholics Anonymous sponsor sometime after one of these encounters and said, "Give me $50 million and slap my private parts." And another text, she also wrote, "Hey, B, pretty soon I'll be a rich B." Go ahead and fill in those words yourself. And then her Alcoholics Anonymous sponsor responded back, "Secure the bag," as, secure the money. So it doesn't look exactly good for her. And the judge agreed because as of yesterday, the judge actually denied her continued, continued restraining order against Trevor Bauer. So it's kind of a win for Trevor Bauer right there.
Yeah, and there was also text that she didn't initially bring up between her and Bauer. She texted him, "Choke me out, give me all the pain, and do it harder." Now, when asked about those, she did say, "Look, I didn't ask to be punched," which I guess was part of this. Now, the judge said the injuries as shown in the photographs are terrible. She sets limits and he exceeded them. This case would have been clear, but she set limits without considering all the consequences, and respondent did not exceed limits that the petitioner set. So the judge obviously siding with Bauer there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this isn't over for Bauer yet because this was just a restraining order date. I mean, you've got Major League Baseball still looking into it. You got the cops still looking into it. So, I mean, technically charges could still be brought against Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, this is going to go on for another few months. I mean, if it does go, I mean, there's also a possible civil case, which will obviously go to if for some reason other things don't happen. So this is going to go on for Trevor Bauer. He's not going to be playing baseball for a while now. He did sign a 3-year, $100 million contract with the Dodgers. So, I mean, the Dodgers are pinned to him, at least for a little while. I don't think they can terminate his contract because he hasn't been convicted of anything, but he won't be playing baseball anytime soon.
All right, if you plan on flying anytime soon, don't be an a-hole. If so, you could get fined a lot of money. Stories coming up. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1.
Yeah, so our call-in this morning is going to be, what is the best or worst moment from school that you still remember clearly to this day? I have one that involves cigarettes and a fight.
All right.
So fun stuff there. We're also going to get to those stories about OnlyFans, unruly passengers. Something we kind of brought on the stream yesterday, but the story was too good not to bring it up again, so we'll talk about it on the air here in just a little bit. The weekend is full of cool stuff, but I just watched the trailer, I think it was for the second time, for a new film called Reminiscence. Reminiscence comes out today. It's available in movie theaters, and it's on HBO Max. It stars Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson, and it's done by the folks who did the Westworld TV shows. Can you turn? I don't think your light's on. Is it?
Yeah, it's on.
Is it? I think it's. Can you turn it up? You look incredibly dark. It looks like you're sitting in a pitch dark room compared to me. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you got a tan. But I watched the trailer for it for the second time last night, and this thing looks really, really cool, and the reviews on it are really good. So I think that's definitely, you're watching Free Guy this weekend. Mm-hmm. I'm watching Reminiscence. I'm going to watch that. It looks really, really cool.
Nice.
There's also a horror movie. It's like the beginning of horror movie season. This weekend, The Night House is the horror movie that's out in movie theaters. It looks a little silly, but it's definitely something pretty cool and is available this weekend only in movie theaters. So that's the beginning of horror movie season. Next weekend is The Candyman, which is the reboot, which looks really good. Jordan Peele executive produced that with Nia DaCosta, who's actually directing the next Miss Marvel film. She directed the new Candyman film, so I'm excited about that. Virginia Madsen is not in the new Candyman film, although she is referenced.
Okay.
Although she is referenced, which is cool, because she kind of took over the spoiler alert, Virginia Madsen took over the Candyman mantle, sort of, after the end of the first film. So,
that's right.
Mm-hmm. Because she's, they do that big bonfire outside of Cabrini Green. She pulls the baby out, but she dies due to like third-degree burns.
Right.
And then she comes back as like the new Candyman. I don't know. I don't think she's in it, although she's referenced is what I've heard.
Right.
But damn it, I wish she was in it. Also, fun fact, Virginia Madsen, the sister of Michael Madsen, who's obviously in Reservoir Dogs.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so I had no idea either. I went down that rabbit hole yesterday.
I'm going to get some coffee.
All right, guys, Charles and Mac, thank you so much for sharing your stories already. I'm just going to go ahead and break out the good old Word doc, do a little copy and pasting right here so I can get your stories saved on the computer so I can bring them up here later this the show. I'm excited about having our guest in for Beer for Breakfast. His name's Nick Snyder, and he's a beer cicerone. I mean, this guy, he's got like essentially a degree in beer, the way things smell and taste. I'm excited for him to teach me something about beer that I've never known before, because being a cicerone is like, it's like being having a doctorate in beer. I mean, you can break down different hops and just from the nose of everything. I mean, this man is a genius when it comes to beer. So I'm excited to have Nick in studio today. I want him to teach me some stuff when it comes to just the overall breakdown of beer, because he's a very, very smart guy. Mac, thanks for those stories this morning. That's fun.
All right, we got about 3:45 before we hop back on. Got some good stories on Facebook too, so that's plus.
This weekend, if you follow us on YouTube, make sure to check out some new videos that are going to be popping up. I got an opportunity to do a bunch yesterday, including new videos from the show, including Beer for Breakfast and Chicks on Dudes. New videos over the weekend will include our latest segments from Mount Rushmore and our very first episode of Explain the Bachelor with Lauren Wolverton of Connect Savannah. Make sure to check those out. Those will go up probably later on today. They're all edited up. Just it takes forever to upload thanks to YouTube. So,
Yep. All right, there we go. So our nightly routine now, and my wife more than me, and I feel bad, consists of like an hour and a half dedicated to cats. So if anybody wants to adopt cats, just come to my house. I'll just give them to you. I know there's rules, but I don't care at this point. Just take them.
hey, David. Yeah, we saw that news just yesterday with Nine Inch Nails and Deftones leaving Welcome to Rockville. Top the 8 o'clock hour, we'll jump into that topic and what bands could actually replace them. So if you could stick around today, top the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to go into that story. And then there is a slew of possible replacement bands that could possibly fill in for them coming in that Thursday date, which is actually kind of good for Welcome to Rockville, because Thursdays overall aren't generally busy for a lot of bands and festivals. So there is definitely a lot of bands that are available So we'll go over a list that we found and do that at the top of the 8 o'clock hour.
All right, be right back. The FAA is handing down all kinds of fines. In fact, they just hit a milestone. We'll tell you what it is about last night. Cotter and Marshall Show. If you plan on flying, definitely want to think twice. If you're going to be an unruly passenger, one, you're just going to look like a jerk. Two, the FAA is not playing around when it comes to fines for unruly passengers. So far, just this year alone, has been almost 3,900 reports of unruly behavior, and they have handed down over $1 million total in fines, and some of these fines are not small.
No, I mean, there's a fine right here from JetBlue, a $45,000 fine. This person apparently threw objects, including his carry-on, at other passengers. He laid on the aisle floor and then grabbed a flight attendant by the ankles and put his head up her skirts.
Not cool, guy. Not cool.
I mean, hilarious, but yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Frontier Airlines passenger was slapped with a $30,000 fine for trying to gain entry into the cockpit. Now, of all things you're going to do on a plane, this one should be the last on the list. Never think about trying to get into the cockpit.
What if the pilot needed something, like my advice on how to fly the plane?
No, bad idea.
Oh.
Actually assaulted 2 flight attendants, threatening to kill one of them and demand that they open the door. I mean, that to me, okay. Mental problems or alcohol? I mean, one of those two things
both.
With this person.
There's a lot of mentally disturbed people, in the United States as of right now. So that's for sure. But the biggest fine, Cotter, that I've seen out of all these includes a $45,000 fine. Now, this happened just May of this year. And all these issues generally happen on like Frontier, Allegiant, JetBlue, kind of your lower cost airlines. Not saying that's the reason why they're happening, but that's the sort of people you're getting on these flights. This passenger apparently in May allegedly threw objects, including his carry-on luggage, at other passengers, refused to stay seated. He laid on the floor in the aisle, refused to get up, then grabbed a flight attendant. Oh, my gosh, that was actually the same one. But that guy, the amount changed. Actually, it was $45,000. But the thing was, too, the passenger was placed in flexi cuffs, too, not the duct tape, because some flight attendants don't actually have cuffs on them.
Right.
So they've been using duct tape. So I don't know if you've been seeing those stories where passengers are actually being held down by duct tape.
And I mean, it's not just fines they have to worry about. I mean, you can be charged with crimes for this. So you're losing a bunch of money, and then you land, and now you're getting arrested on top of it. So stop. Just stop. Just I don't get why people think they can get away with this.
Maybe just don't fly JetBlue. Or
maybe,
Allegiant,
I don't know.
Or Spirit. Ooh, Spirit's a good one as well. But just don't fly those low-cost airlines.
All right, if you frequent the website OnlyFans, come October 1st, things are going to change. Got details coming up after Rage Against the Machine. It's Bulls on Parade, Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1.
Want to thank you for sharing your story there once again. Our call-in topic today is, what is the best or worst moment from school that you still remember clearly to this day? Lots of stories already coming in from Terabyte, Wanda, Charles. Thank you guys for sharing that. Going to be sharing those here at top of the 7 o'clock hour. Mac, thank you for dropping in your stories as well. But feel free to drop in yours if you haven't already. What is the best or worst moment from school that you still remember clearly to this day?
So Antonio Brown got kicked out of practice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he punched a dude. So it was the Bucks had a joint practice with Titans. The victim was Titans cornerback Chris Jackson. No word what started the brawl. Supposedly,
I'm sorry, Chris Jackson.
He ripped off the dude's helmet and punched him in the face. Tampa Bay coach Bruce Aaron said, all I saw was pushing and shoving. Sorry, I didn't see the incident.
Well, I mean, maybe Antonio Brown was just asking him to the lunch hall and offered him a knuckle sandwich, maybe? I don't know. I saw the photo. The photo's incredible. I don't know if you saw the photo. Yeah, so Antonio Brown, I mean, 1,000% lands a hell of a shot right on the face of Chris Jackson, the cornerback from the Titans. I mean, you can see the indent of his fist, like in his face. It was an incredible shot.
Does Antonio Brown make it through this season?
Antonio Brown will make it through the season, you know. That's the best thing about training camp. I don't know if you can really get fined for fighting in training camp. Okay. I don't know if there's a fining system for that, but I don't believe there is. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone getting fined for fighting in training camp. It's just like they yell at you and kick you off the field.
Training camp's just Thunderdome. Anything can go.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
And the Patriots kicked the living dog shit out of the Eagles last night. I mean, completely shit pumped them. Last night in the very first preseason game of week 2 of the preseason. Only doing 3 preseason weeks, and then obviously getting into the NFL season, which is the first game's coming up on September. I forget the date. I think it's 9th. Yeah, September 9th. 9/9.
Got about 50 seconds. Speaking of football, if you want to take part in the Cotter and Marshall Fantasy Football League and get signed up for your chance to get one of those spots now on the website, rock1061.com. So hit us up, sign up if you like to play.
Yeah, when it comes to the league, we'll do like a 14-man league, and then the listener that has the best season will win Welcome to Rockville tickets for 2022.
All right, guys, be right back. OnlyFans is trying to clear up their image. They're getting some pressure from financial partners. Got the story next. Cotter and Marshall Show. So a whole lot of businesses suffered during the pandemic. Some of them thrived. One of them that did was OnlyFans. This website saw a massive uptick in users and content creators all during the pandemic. Now, while the site wasn't created specifically to be an adult content provider,
right?
That's really what it's become.
Yeah, I mean, what you see is like all those models on Twitter.
Yes.
And then they do all their nudes on OnlyFans, and they'll charge you like $10 a month. So OnlyFans actually has more subscribers to it than Disney Plus. Just think about that. So Disney Plus has 116 million subscribers to it. OnlyFans has 130 million users on a monthly basis. I mean, they're going to crack $12.5 billion in revenue in the next year. And the reason why they're taking away these girls' opportunities to showcase themselves doing sexual things, not just you can still put up nudes, apparently.
Yes.
Girls can still put up nude photos, but they can't do anything in the sexual variety, is because they can't get investors, or the banks won't work with them anymore. It's so weird that, you know, they would have to go through this.
That the whole thing is weird to me. I mean, I obviously not a businessman to this extent, because it's like, you're making $12 billion. You know, you'd think you should be able to self-fund this, but obviously there's much more in the back end that we're not seeing, because, as of October 1st, nude videos, nude pictures, okay. You can't go any further than that.
Yeah, it's like McDonald's saying they're not going to have hamburgers anymore.
Yeah.
Like, why go to OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Why even go there anymore? Guys are going there for the stuff that, you know, they can't get from other places.
Yeah, so I find this interesting because I do think they're just going to cut off their main stream of income. So yes, maybe banks, financial advisors, investors will increase, but will they have the content and will they have the people subscribing to their website like they had in the past because they're not delivering what people are expecting from them?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of, other places that people can go, but OnlyFans became like this central hub of we're okay with this.
Yes.
Like everyone felt very comfortable using OnlyFans. And that's why their subscriber base went up so much, especially during the pandemic. Everyone was sitting at home, super horny apparently, and wanted to see some boobs and stuff. And those boobs do some other stuff.
So October 1st, this kicks in. Man, they're not going to go away, instantly. Mm-hmm. But I think 2022 will be a struggle for this website because I don't think they're going to have the volume of content and subscribers.
What is your wife's monthly allowance for you for OnlyFans?
She doesn't know about that.
Oh,
so we're just going to.
You can't pay for it in cash.
Going to keep that on the down low.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I may have an.
Do you
alias.
Hold yourself to a certain amount?
I may have an alias somewhere.
Right.
It depends on how much I want to reward myself. If I had it's like, what? I was good this month.
Right.
I'm going to treat myself.
Or if the girls are having a sale.
Oh, I love good OnlyFans sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the best.
The Cotter, super thrifty when it comes to OnlyFans.
Birthday's coming up. Got to treat yourself, man. Got to treat yourself. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk work days. An 8-hour workday, obviously, is the typical workday here in the United States. But just how productive are we? Surprisingly, Marshall, you and I, ahead of the curve.
Oh.
We are above average.
Good for us.
I know. Details coming up. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1.
Kelly, I love you. Kelly said, try to get in shape so I could get in OnlyFans after I got fired because of COVID. But yeah, donuts.
Rock 106.1, hello.
Hey, we could start the next platform, Only Cotter's Fans. People like 30 bucks a month.
I love this. I love this.
What kind of content? What kind of content would you like to see on Only Cotter Fans?
Anything that's not on YouTube.
Okay, so like a lot of topless stuff.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, why not? Hey, YouTube kicks you off, for like, political views now, man. I mean, it's crazy,
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, Cotter is very.
They're doing content censorship, just like Facebook and everybody else now.
Yeah, Cotter's big time pro genocide. He'll tell you those views
while topless.
Yeah, there you go.
While topless. Only Cotter fans. I don't hate this idea.
Yeah.
Cotter's content, self-inflicted gunshot wound to the neck on Friday. I hate my job. I hate life. I hate that guy that sits next to me every Friday. Damn, the weekend, thank God. Boom.
Ooh, how about this? Cotter cauterizes himself. He'll actually cauterize a wound. Yeah, some real weird.
Cauterizes his mouth shut on Friday afternoon.
Oh,
go, Marshall.
Jesus Christ, man, you are wild with
getting
that.
Rough.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in.
Hey, can you do some Godsmack?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, appreciate it, man. Have a good weekend. Take care.
I see you.
Only Cotter, things you can't say in the radio.
Yeah.
Like inside of a radio, Kelly? Like he'd have to get inside of a giant radio?
It would just be a lot of Star Wars and pro wrestling. Let's see where we at here with this.
Good morning, Tony. How are you? I like that he was very excited at the fact that you could possibly charge $30. Like people would pay you $30 a month to hear your views.
Nobody's paying me. Shoot, you kidding me? All right, we've got brand new Chevelle Mars Simula coming up next. We'll get to this 8-hour workday and how productive we actually are. That don't need that.
Mars Simula has a terrible outro.
Yeah, it's
they have the longest wet fart of a outro for that song. It is not good. I'm sorry, Chevelle. Tony goes, I'm wondering what conversation I walked into with Wanda. I don't know. Wanda and Terabyte are having a conversation that I'm not talking about. You guys can have that on the chat. You guys,
oh wow,
you
yeah,
guys seem to be having fun.
just saw that last.
Good for
there.
you guys.
Damn. I'm gonna get my coffee.
I got a big day ahead of me. I'm going to the Rock store. And that's what happens when you get married. You own a house. My wife has the day off, so she's like, "What are you doing after the show today?" I'm like, "Well, Fridays are kind of my day. I kind of take off a little bit early." And she goes, "Well, come home. I want to go to the Rock store." So, big day for me. And then after that, I get to take her out to lunch. So, when do the treats ever stop for me? I don't know. It's going to be a hell of a day. The Rock store, and then I get to pay for lunch. So, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day, guys. Oh, man. So I'm going to get this beard trimmed up, this ridiculous thing. It's getting a little fluffy in here. So I'm going to go try to get because I'm going to keep my hair because it's stupid. But I'm going to go get my beard trimmed up at a place called, I think it's like Los Barbers. It's over in Berwick. So I live over like in the Georgetown area, and there is a place in Berwick called Los Barbers. They do beard trims and stuff. So I'm gonna get this kind of lined up just a little bit. I'll look a bit better on the cameras. But that's kind of my day. That's what I plan on doing. Rock store, lunch, getting the beard trimmed. It's a big day for me. Obviously. Oh, excellent. That's good to hear, Andrew. So the new Madden came out today. The new Madden, what is it, 2021 or whatever the hell they call it? Whatever they're calling the newest Madden year. I always forget if they go the year ahead or the current one. I don't remember. But the newest Madden is out, and it is getting crushed review-wise.
Really?
Yeah. IGN gave it a 6 out of 10. Said that for some reason, the game is just not hitting anywhere close to its marks it's done the last few years. Apparently, the new user menus are like all this like sickly green color too. They couldn't understand why.
Interesting. I mean, it's so weird that I mean, what are they going to do so drastically different that it's going to be like, yeah, this one sucks?
They've added in a couple like new modes that just don't hit the mark. Okay. I mean, they've got a bunch of reasons why, except my computer once again is an absolute garbage store of suck. What is the Rock store? Honestly, I don't know what it's called. I know it's over on Chatham Parkway. That's all I've been told. We just Googled places to buy rock, and I forget the name of it. Hold on, let me look it up. Terabyte, I'd love to tell you about Hobby Lobby and the Pottery Barn. I just don't think I have time to go to either of those places today. I'm so busy.
All right, 2:45.
The Maxwell Beatty Sand Company Incorporated.
There you go.
That's where I plan on going. Garden City. Boom.
All right, we got just over 2 minutes. Plenty of stuff still to get to today. Best and worst moment from school that you can remember clearly to this day. That's just after 7. Talk some wrestling. Welcome to Rockville. Trivia. Then joined by Nick Snyder from Brewdog.
Yeah, Dave. They do gravel stones, mulch, they do all that kind of stuff. Not hating it all. Hobby Lobby's the shit.
I can't tell you the last time I've been in a Hobby Lobby. It's been a while.
I swung by Hobby Lobby just like a week or so ago because I wanted to see if they did, if they had any Halloween stuff out, and then they didn't. And then I heard they they really don't do Halloween stuff anymore because of their religious views.
Interesting.
For Hobby Lobby. So they'll do like pumpkins, they'll do like the harvesty stuff, but they just don't really do any like Halloween decorations. And I'm just jonesing to like buy some stuff for Halloween, but nothing's really open yet. I would figure that a spirit store should be opening, or at least getting ready to open here in the next couple days or weeks.
Where is this latest spirit store? Is it over by Best Buy still, or is the one over?
No, they moved that one into the Savannah Mall, or the Oglethorpe Mall, where kind of where Sears was when they shut down Sears. They opened up a big spirit store there. But, I know there's one on. Oh my gosh, it's close to that Starbucks. It's over next to the Target and Home Depot on the way out to Tybee.
Okay.
They open up one kind of over there. I don't know where. And then there's a spirit store down in the 95. And I think there's always kind of like 3 in town that they always open up.
All right, guys, be right back. Because of the pandemic and the way it's changed how we work, or maybe even look at work, there has been a lot of talk about productivity. You know, people working at home, people working back at the office. Well, according to a new survey, most workers, and I don't think this is going to shock anybody, aren't productive for a full 8 hours, regardless of working from home or working at the office. So during an 8-hour workday, the average worker only spends 4 hours, 12 minutes actually working.
Yeah, and we crushed this. We crushed this without a doubt, because you and I, we're on the stream from 6:05 till about 9:45. So that's almost 4 hours right there of us actively working the entire time.
And I would make the argument that just because the stream starts at 6, we're in here doing stuff prior to that.
That's right.
So, I mean, I think the show alone, we hit this mark. So then you look at everything else we do, you and I, maybe for the first time ever, above average.
Yeah, we're above the curve when it comes to this. But they say the top distractions for people who are working, at home or not, surfing the internet, social media, texting, bathroom breaks, socializing with coworkers. I didn't like really doing any of that stuff. And you didn't either, because you didn't like using the bathroom at all here at work.
Correct.
For the longest time.
Gotten better.
Still don't like socializing with my coworkers. I don't think anyone really does that on a consistent basis. But yeah, surfing the internet, social media, texting, those are all things that definitely took away from my work day when I worked more of a regular shift, like a 9 to 5.
Right. Now all those things just get in my way because of so much we have to do because of the show. I can't do those things because I actually have to work.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, only 4 hours and 12 minutes of your 8-hour day, you're actively working.
Well, I don't know. That really kind of blows my mind. How does anything get done?
I mean, before I did the morning show, I would say I did much less than that. Maybe I would say I like 2 hours and 28 minutes of active work per day, and the rest of it was just me screwing around.
All right, coming up after 7 o'clock, call, comment, and text. What is the best or worst moment from school that you still remember clearly to this day? I will never forget mine. I fell off a stage. I got the details coming up after 7. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1.
All right, guys, on the stream, thanks for joining us this morning. Once again, what is your best or worst moment from school that you can still remember clearly to this day? Feel free to drop in your stories on the stream, or feel free to call us or text us, 1-800-394-1061. Would love to hear from you guys via the phone or text message this morning. Just go ahead and call us up.
And kind of tagging on to that story about the 8-hour workday, there's another new survey about what's the number one thing you want in a new job. And according to this poll, 72% of people said They want to be working at. I'm sorry, 48% said the next top thing they want in their job is to be the flexibility to work from home. But we have that. I mean, we don't do the show from our house, but do a lot of other work from the house.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday after the show, generally I spend some time, I don't know, up to 2 hours here.
Yeah.
I mean, till about lunchtime every day. Yesterday, I just took off immediately after the show. I went home and I don't know, I grabbed some breakfast. I haven't grabbed breakfast in a while, so I grabbed breakfast from a local joint, and then I went home and then I just worked on videos. I took a nap. I worked on more videos. I did show stuff. I responded to emails from our coworkers. I did more videos. I took a shower, and then I went and hosted bingo over at the Draft Room in Berwick, and then came home and then uploaded one more video, and then went to bed. I mean, it was nonstop yesterday.
Yeah, I was here way too long. I didn't get out of here until 2:00 yesterday.
Oh.
So,
what happened to your day?
It took too long. We had to include a phone call for the Latin lunch. And we just had some technical difficulties with the phone call. So it took way longer than it should have.
Did you call Tim in? Did Tim fix it?
Tim did come in. So, yes, he did fix
it. Tim Janier doesn't get 4 hours and 12 minutes of screwing up the studio in a month. And then Terabyte goes, Tim Janier messes stuff up to get 4 hours of work a month. Okay.
Salsa Mark did text in. Morning, guys. What was that at school? Can't really remember. I was too baked most of the time. So no story from Salsa Mark today.
Sounds like Salsa Mark. Terabyte, I may have to have you look at my computer. It's just,
still.
It's pure junk. Just had to completely restart it again. It's probably because Microsoft probably downloaded and put 1,000 things I don't need on it.
Yep.
But once again, what's the best or worst moment from school that you still clearly remember from this day? Drop your stories into the chat, or feel free to call us. Like I said, 1-800-394-1061. Tomorrow, over at Coastal Empire Beer Company, they have their 10th anniversary party. It starts at 6 o'clock. It's got the Smoking Souls. They're a band that's going to be playing, and also Mac Attack Food Truck. They've got all sorts of beers. So if you follow Coastal Empire Beer Company on their Facebook page, there's a bunch of beers they've been kind of showcasing.
Yeah.
The latest one was a hazy IPA. They had a cherry, Gosa or something I saw on there as well. So they got loads of new beers for you guys to go out and try this weekend for their 10th anniversary.
I'm hoping they'll have them on tap before 6, because I don't think I'm going to make it until I'm going to go before. I'm going to go early in the day.
Best day, graduation. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, Terabyte. It's a good day to come grab my computer as I throw it out the window. It'd be a really good day for you to swing by 401 Mall Boulevard. I am highly considering just chucking this piece of shit. I don't know what happened over the last week, but it no longer likes me.
So season 4 of Westworld, I don't know if they have a new date yet for release, but according to a story, they're promising new worlds in season 4. Guess they've returned to filming.
Oh, good.
So Lisa Joy was talking about it. And let's see what else. Because they were talking about the new movie.
Yeah, Reminiscence is the new movie that's available on HBO Max starting today and theaters.
You're going to see some new worlds that I think are really fun, and you're going to see someone who I kidnapped from Reminiscence in a funny way.
Okay.
So there you go. I still got to finish season 3.
Yeah, Westworld's a fun show. I really like it. I mean, they come out with a new season every other year because they do so much work on it.
Yeah.
It is like a 10-hour, 8-hour movie. It is really fun to watch. We should get a pic of Tim Janier's wardrobe every day and post it to Facebook. Wow. I don't think I'd want our listeners and followers' eyes to bleed. I think that would be a terrible idea.
That's a lot of khaki.
Man, it's just I don't know what's going on with Tim. I mean, it's you saw it yesterday, Charles. It was brutal. People on the stream saw Tim's outfit.
He's comfortable in his own skin, man.
Tim's a fairly, I wouldn't say Tim's overweight or I wouldn't say he's overly fit. He's kind of somewhere in between, but he wears like the baggiest clothes. Like he came out of like a Jinko's commercial in the 90s.
All right, we've got Voodoo from Godsmack playing now. And we get to Disturbed Sound of Silence as well. Then we will get into the call, comment, and text segments.
What did you buy the computer, Marshall? It was probably like 3-ish years ago, I think, at this point. Something to the effect of that, 3 or 4 years. It literally has nothing on it. I mean, it's got, I think the most recent thing is I downloaded a version of OBS on it. But other than that, there's nothing I ever put on this computer.
I mean, after 3-4 years, is the laptop anymore just like, yeah, you might as well buy a new one? Is it just obsolete?
I don't think that's the case.
So I was going to remember his name and I forgot it. Big thanks to a dude who recently dropped on the website suggestions for the rock countdown we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
He took your suggestion of heart of like dropping like hundreds of songs. He literally, I mean, it's stupid the amount of songs and bands he put in there. So
good.
Damn. So that was nice. In a recent interview, WWE's new president, Nick Khan, no relation to AEW's Tony Khan, was asked about a possible sale of WWE because there's been a lot of rumors with them like, letting people go and doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He says, well, look, we're open for business on anything and everything. If somebody calls, we'll listen. They say they're not active in the marketplace looking, but they're definitely looking to talk or willing to talk.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. I don't know, man. I don't know if you ever I don't know. Yes, I think we'll get to a point where they sell WWE. I really do. I think before Vince dies, he will sell WWE to some major corporation. I don't know who it is, though. I mean, I guess Universal makes the most sense. They've got their partnership with the Peacock network. Got rid of the WWE network. All the content's there now. So I guess Universal would make sense. I mean, I've heard Disney thrown around just because they buy everything. But I don't know. I can't see Disney running the WWE. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense to me. I think it'll be somebody like Peacock or something like that that could potentially buy them. How much did he sell them for, though, man? Damn. Because, I mean, they're making record profits. They've got TV rights deals that are in the billions of dollars. So, I mean, I would be willing to bet they would make a substantial chunk of money if they ever decided to sell that company. And I think they will. I think they do. I think that's the end goal as they decide to cut people and save money on the bottom line. I think that's what they're going to eventually do. That's just me, though. So after the show today, I think I am going to go watch Free Guy. Going to hit up one of the cinemas in Pooler. I haven't been there yet. They got like a 12-something showing, so I'm going to go to that. Hopefully I will stay awake. Google buying it would be interesting. Morning, Holly. That's right. They do have YouTube. I mean, that would be interesting. That's a good one. I could see that. I mean, I don't think in the end they're really going to care who they sell it to. I don't think they're going to have restrictions there. Just who wants to buy it and who's going to, cough up the most money. I don't know. It just seems like that's where they're heading. Anyway, going to go watch Free Guy. Excited about that. I will set an alarm because I do feel like I will most likely fall asleep during it, but we'll find out. I know, Wanda. That's what I'm saying. I will have an alarm set because there is a really good chance that I fall asleep while watching this movie. Because, I mean, it's just going to be me and potentially like the old retired people, who go see a 12 o'clock movie. So I'm hoping for the best. Lots of popcorn. But excited to check it out. I've heard nothing but good things. Our third favorite sales manager, Mike, said, "You will not fall asleep. It's so good." He obviously doesn't know me that well. All right, we got about a minute 15. Going to get into our call, comment, and text segment. What is the best or worst moment from school that you still remember clearly to this day? We've got my worst. I'll share that. So how would you like to do it? I can start if you want.
Yeah, please.
I got plenty from the Facebook. So I can start here with mine. Do you have a couple stories?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll start with mine. If you want to do a couple, and then I got a good one we can end the first break on here.
Okay.
All right, guys, got about 15 seconds. Be right back. What is the best or worst moment from school that you still remember clearly to this day? Would love to get your calls on this, 800-394-1061. You can also comment and text as well. My worst day at school is something I'll never forget. It was my senior year in high school. We were putting on the musical Grease. Grease is what got me into theater. In fifth grade, they performed it. So I basically kissed my teacher's butt in high school for 4 years to get her to do Grease our senior year.
And she still teach you to this day, or
she's retired now.
Oh, okay.
But I got her to do Grease.
Probably not teaching anymore because you were kissing her so much.
Which, whatever works. We got to do Grease, so it worked. So it was senior year. We're doing Grease, and the way we set up the stage was at the end of the stage, we had like these pieces of plywood that we just kind of bended a little bit to give the front of the stage this curved look. However, we didn't have anything over that except for some black cloth. So you had the end of the stage, then you had these bent pieces of plywood, and there's just a big gap in between those. with the cloth over them and like, all right, just be careful. Don't step here during the show. So every time we were practicing, as we got closer to the show, I was the one going, guys, be careful. Guys, be careful. Don't step here. Be careful. And they had actually put a broken mic stand down in this hole. It was just getting it out of the way. They put it down in this gap. So it was opening night of the show, and there was a scene where we jump off a stage and run through the crowd. So I was running toward the front of the stage. I took a step too far, and I stepped right into where that gap was. I stepped on the cloth, and I completely just fell down and took out that big piece of plywood in front of the stage. Everybody backstage thought I was dead because that broken microphone stand.
You can impale yourself.
They thought I was impaled because we all knew it was there. One guy at the last minute decided to move it over like 2 feet. It was right next to me as I'm laying on the ground. But I'm laying there, and, at that point in time, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I knocked myself out. I don't know what happened. But I kind of look around, and the lights have come up in the theater. Everybody's just standing around me. And I'm feeling like the biggest a-hole ever because here I am. Ruining the show, breaking the stage. But show must go on.
Maybe they thought you were a vampire and then at the last second realized you weren't one. And that's why he moved it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Was this around fall time, would you say?
It was fall time.
Around the spookier time
of
the
was.
Season?
That is very true.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you could have had an enemy that you just never really knew and someone saved your life.
That's true.
So there you go, man. We got some great comments and stories here on the chat as well. Let's jump over to, Mac has a good one here. Mac chimed in, said, there was a time that someone loosened the lug nuts during school time on my brother's jacked up truck, and we almost died. That was fun.
I mean, okay, there's a prank, and then there's just attempted murder. Well, there's not a fine line here.
I call this just kids being kids, dudes being dudes.
Really?
Remember that hilarious time I loosened the lug nuts in your truck, and then a tire fell off, and then you skidded around? Hilarious. I got another story here from Wanda. This one, a bit more sexier. She goes, best moment in school? My breakup with my high school sweetheart. Breakup? Oh. It took a bit of time for me to realize it was a toxic relationship. The sex was amazing, all caps, but we were horrible at everything else.
So this was like a good and bad moment. Great sex, but you get out of a bad relationship.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, she went on. I mean, she talked about this this relationship for quite some time. Obviously, still hung up on it. Said that he was a virgin. So she got that virgin sex, that sweet virgin sex. Congratulations, Wanda.
Yeah, hats off to you. Eric hit us up on Facebook. He said, when my mom pimp slapped me my senior year of high school.
Ooh, like the back of the hand?
In front of everybody for calling the teacher a liar. So he just got beat across the face in front of everybody by the mom.
Just to 100% define this, the pimp slap is the back of the hand.
Back of the
correct?
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the back of the hand.
Wait, like all he said was the teacher's a liar?
Well, he said effing liar.
Okay. I don't know if that's really worth a slap.
He got it. In front of everybody?
That's not cool. You know what? Give me your mom's number. We're going to call her up and scold her for that pimp slap.
All right, 800-394-1061. Give us a call. You can also comment and text what is the best or worst moment from high school or school that you remember clearly to this day. Got the latest from Fozzie and more of your calls, comments, and texts next. Here's Sane, Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 1061.
Tony, I just saw your message. What a dickhead message. So she said in response to your Grease story, Marshall would recognize your play as the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Going back to a quiz in the face question I missed earlier this week. Damn it, Tony.
That's
dickhead. Funny. What a dickhead comment. All right, still trying to get myself situated with my show notes here. So
yeah, no, I get it, man.
All right, guys, we're still asking you guys, what is your best or worst moment from school that you still remember clearly to this day? Feel free to drop in your stories via the chat, or feel free to call us, 1-800-394-1061.
All right, we've got about 2:40. Do you want to share yours?
Yeah.
I've got several here, so we can either just go back and forth if you want.
I'll share mine. You do a couple, and then I'll do one that'll end it.
Okay. All right, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Back at it. Still have time for your calls if you want to hit us up. Are you smarter than the community college dropout is on the way? That's going to be at the end of the 8 o'clock hour this morning. Your chance to win. Just take us on to trivia. Also going to talk Welcome to Rockville. There are a couple bands who have dropped out. Who's going to be their replacements? I will talk about who we think could take those places coming up. That's the top of the 8 o'clock hour. I finally watched the Chris Jericho entrance to Dynamite on Wednesday. I didn't watch the whole match, but I did watch the entrance and seeing everybody sing along, since they normally do with this song Judas anyway, but he was banned from using it. So he had the crowd sing, and I thought it was funny because there's a lot of them with their phones up here, not recording, but reading the lyrics because they didn't know all of them. All right, 1 minute left. More of your stories, best or worst moments from school that you can still remember clearly to this day. All right, 30 seconds. All right, guys, we'll be right back. We are taking the calls, comments, and texts this morning. 800-394-1061. What is the best or worst moment from school that you still remember clearly to this day?
So back in high school, I was super cool and would stop by and buy cigarettes because I was 16 and knew of a place that would sell them to me. So
Okay.
I would buy cigarettes for friends, on the way to school. I'd sell them at a markup because I love money. Also, I just liked smoking cigarettes on the way to school. It just made me feel cool in the morning. So every once in a while, when I got up in the morning, got into my car, I would put a smoke behind my ear because, once again, I saw it in the movies, and it was very, very cool. So one morning, I had a smoke, and I was parking in the parking lot, put it out, and then I walked into school. And, kind of doing the, hey, what's up, Jimmy? Rachel, what's going on? What you doing later? And then someone came up to me and kind of like smacked me in the side of the head. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And they're like, you idiot. I walked down and through high school with a cigarette behind my ear, past teachers, multiple teachers, security guard, like all these people that should have somehow caught it.
Right.
They did not. I somehow got away with walking into school with a cigarette behind my ear, which would have definitely got me, I'm guessing, probably suspended.
I would think.
I think at that point, suspension was a very clear, bringing cigarettes into school is a big time no-no.
Right.
Although I brought them to school every single day. I'd have them in my book bag. And obviously I smelled like cigarettes. I don't know why no one ever called me out on it, but that was the very cool thing and something I remember clearly doing stupidly and somehow getting away with it.
I'm old enough to remember a smoking section, not for students, but for teachers, like out the back door of our high school.
Right.
Where in the morning you'd get to school and you'd see like just a group of them outside,
Well, it was a stressful day. They had to deal with us.
I know. I don't blame them.
I would chug smoking cigarettes too.
Shots of Jack in the morning. Michelle hit us up on Facebook. She said, first and only time I was paddled. Now, this was in kindergarten. She said I was 5. Refused to get up and run when tagged in Duck, Duck, Goose.
Right.
A boy named Donald had pulled on my name tag and broke it, so I didn't want to stand up, showing the teacher my broken name tag. The principal paddled her for disobeying the teacher at recess. This was 1982, and although not the most traumatic life experience, makes me angry that I got paddled for it.
They should have paddled Donald. No one likes a Donald. When's the last time that you liked a Donald? You got a friend named Donald? I don't.
I do.
What?
Donald. Yeah.
Who?
Donald Snitsky.
You don't know that guy.
I do.
You don't know that guy.
I do know that
you
guy.
hang out with him?
No, he moved. He
Exactly. Yeah, you're not friends with him.
All right, Jeff Weaver
Liar.
also hit us up. Worst day was the last day of 5th grade. Class trip to a park. They had a miniature golf course, so we all decided to play some golf. Watching a kid try to hit the ball through the loop, swung way too hard. Ball came back at Jeff, clunked him in the head.
Oh.
11 stitches.
Oh, did it knock him out?
I didn't say about knocking him out, but 11 stitches to his dome for getting hit in the head with the golf ball.
That's a bad day at the course. That's a bad day at the course. Could have been worse. Could have shot worse than the 11 stitches. Here on the stream, we got a great story, Cotter. This is from Terabyte. Said, my graduation in high school, the valedictorian was a goodie that never did anything wrong. At the end of her speech, she said, I know all of you think that I'm this angel and all, but watch this. She then lifted up her gown and flashed the entire auditorium saying, kiss my ass, I'm out of here. He said, definitely, it was a sight worth seeing.
Oh, her parents were so proud. All right, give us a call. You can also comment and text 800-394-1061. What's the best or worst moment from school that you still remember? More of your stories coming up. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 1061.
My valedictorian definitely did not do that.
No.
Kiss my ass, I'm out of here.
That is pretty good.
Terabyte, was she hot? Ooh, that's sad to hear. Terabyte said definitely a butterface. Yikes.
All right.
Maybe she had the post-high school glow up. Look her up today and see if she's how she's doing today. So, Cotter, the Foo Fighters are going to take the stage this year at the 2021 MTV Video Music Awards.
What? A rock band?
Not only performing at the event, but they'll also be accepting the network's first ever Global Icon Award. It's obviously a fitting honor for Dave Grohl-led band who first debuted at the MTV VMAs in 1997, playing the pre-show where they did Monkey Wrench and Everlong.
Okay. Was that when they played like on top of a theater or something? They weren't even inside. It was like outside.
It does not state that. I don't know.
I don't know why that comes to mind, but it does.
Sean goes, I like butter. Yeah, you do, you freak.
So that new documentary about Val Kilmer, I didn't know was actually on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
So I was flipping through some stuff. I haven't watched it yet, but knowing it's there, I'm definitely going to check it out because I think that is it looks really cool. The promos I've seen, I like him as an actor, so I think that'll be kind of fun. Did you hear the name for Scarlett Johansson and Colin Jost baby?
No, I did not.
Cosmo.
Cool.
Cosmo Jost.
Cosmo Kramer. Cosmo's an interesting one.
It's choice, man. Just own it, I guess.
100%. MK Ultra says, you name a dog Cosmo. Yeah, no, not the most common name. That's for sure.
No. I don't think Kanye is actually going to release Donda. I think he's just going to keep having listening parties. He's going to host a third listening party for Donda.
Where's this one at?
Chicago.
Oh, at least he's moving the venue.
Yeah.
He did 2 in Atlanta, so.
Yeah, Kanye West Chicago Donda listening party will once again be live streamed on Apple Music. So, yeah, I don't know if he's ever going to actually release it.
I mean, it's a listening party or is it him performing?
Let me see if I get some more info. It says listening party, but
because he calls them listening parties, but he'll go down apparently in front of an audience and like listen to with them as well. But he's got a hot mic and he'll sing some verses of stuff. And then when he did his last listening party in Atlanta, he actually was attached to like this cable. And there was a section where it's like a heavenly sound, and they actually raised him like he was going up to heaven, and they shined a light down. Very interesting, but good for Kanye West. I mean, essentially, I just feel like he's doing concerts without any of the work, and he's just making a crap ton of money.
That's true. It's going to happen at Soldier Field, August 26th. Tickets go on sale today. Pop Smoke, who was included on some of the stuff, will be featured on the listening party. Of course, he passed away, and they got in songs includes with The Weeknd, Travis Scott, Kid Cudi, Jay-Z.
I think Jay-Z joined him at the Atlanta listening party, the second one,
okay,
he did just a few weeks ago.
Let's see, that's really all it says. Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah, I think you got a good point. It's like doing shows without actually doing a show. They're just making all kinds of money.
It's good work for him. That's for sure.
Do it. All right, we've got Metallica, and then we'll get back into this. I've got a few good ones still left. I've got three left.
I've really got one story that's worth I'll share here.
Okay. I've got one quick thing too that I can bring up that from high school.
Why don't you kick off? I'll do this story and then wrap up with the best, funniest one you got. So Beyonce's dad has confirmed, although there was some social media misleading, that there was going to be a Destiny's Child reunion. That is not happening, according to Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's official manager, Destiny's Child's official manager. He said there is not going to be a reunion for the classic girl group.
It's kind of like Justin Timberlake and NSYNC. Dude doesn't really need it. Beyonce does not need a Destiny's Child reunion.
Well, people will still love that music. Even if they just did like a one-off, I think people would really like that.
Yeah. I mean, didn't they pop up at the Super Bowl?
Who's that?
The other chicks from Destiny's Child? For like a song?
You know, I honestly don't remember. I don't think I was paying attention too much to the Beyonce Super Bowl.
That's true. All right, you got about 4 minutes. Still all kinds of stuff to get to today, man. The beer for breakfast going to be in. Nick Snyder from Brewdog.
Nick's a beer cicerone.
I saw that. That's always so. I mean, you got to know a lot of stuff about beer. There's different levels to that test. I know the first one difficult enough on itself, but a little bit easier. But then by the end, I mean, they're just stupid hard.
Yeah, and it's very, very cool working for Brewdog. Brewdog offers Cicerone classes for their employees. They actually offer a ton of benefits.
Okay.
To be working for them. I have a list of them. I was going to see how true or not true they were for Nick, who I think's been with Brewdog for a little while now. Morning, Rhett. How are you? Yes, you did. You did hear beer. Nick Snyder of Brewdog's going to be in for beer for breakfast later on this morning, right around 9 o'clock.
All right, 2.5 minutes.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up our call-in segment. What is the best or worst moments from school that you still clearly remember today? Then we're going to jump into a weekend of wrestling. Obviously, a lot going on with SummerSlam. NXT's got a deal. AEW's got a deal. So we'll talk a little bit about that coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Also in the 8 o'clock hour, we have trivia. We'll hook you up with White Reaper tickets and tickets to the Tailgate Bar Crawl, which is happening on Saturday, September 4th.
All right, got about a minute left. All right, we'll be right back, guys. What is the best and worst moment, or best or worst moment from school that you still remember to this day? One other thing that has always stood out to me is, I want to say it was my sophomore year. Part of my school went on strike. There was rumors that there would be uniforms, a uniform policy implemented. There's no basis to these rumors, but some of the kids at high school got all bent out of shape about it. So like the first 2-3 days of school, I mean, they legitimately got up, walked across the street, got the local radio station to play Twisted Sisters, We're Not Going to Take It for them, like every morning during this whole strike.
Interesting.
Because it became such a big deal locally in the area. I mean, nothing but small towns, so the news ate it up. I mean, they pulled buses out in front of the school so everybody in school couldn't see the guys on strike.
Right.
And they had a list of demands, one was obviously no uniforms. I think they wanted a student smoking section. I mean, it was a bunch of stupid stuff. I don't remember why it ended, but it literally like 3 days.
Were the demands met?
No, nothing was met. It was dumb.
Was the uniform policy ever put in place?
It was never. It was rumors. There's never any truth to it. And I think it finally came down. It came down to basically get your asses back in school, or we're just gonna, expel all of you. So everybody kind of, turned tail pretty quick and headed back to school. But yeah, when my school went on strike, it was just like, this is dumb, guys.
I know for a fact you did not take part in that.
No, it was stupid. And my mom would have killed me. She scared me in high school. What can I say?
All right. Well, we got some great stories on the chat here. Got another one here from Sean. He said, my worst memory in school might have been in 7th grade when a kid didn't like me. I was dating the girl he liked, so he told the principal and teachers I had a weapon in my book bag.
What?
I got taken out of class by the principal. I had to walk down the hallway holding my book bag, and they took me to my locker. I opened it up. They checked the locker, entirely empty. Checked my book bag, no weapon. That was a very awkward day.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. You remember in high school did you ever have a high school where they bring in like the drug dogs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, it's generally once a year.
Yep.
Once a year, and there was always one hit in my high school. There was always like, and it was the locker you always know that was going to get hit if the drug dogs came in. But it was always a very high tense day because I'd have cigarettes in my locker. I'm like, can they smell the cigarettes? Are they going to hit on my locker and they're going to find my cigarettes? Do I have a joint in my locker that I totally forgot about? Did someone set me up? I don't know. It was a very, very tense time when stuff like that happened.
All right, Danielle hit us up as well. I remember this one fight in the cafeteria. These two guys were fighting on the other side of the room, and everybody started to crowd around, like you do when a fight breaks out.
Yeah.
The guy then climbs on top of a table, jumps off.
Randy Macho Man Savage.
That's what I'm
drop.
picturing. That's what I'm picturing. But she said decks the guy in the jaw. Next thing I know, teachers, officers come in, shoot everybody away. She's like, I would pay money to rewatch that fight.
Yeah, it was like a Superman punch.
So epic.
Yeah. That's the stuff you see in like a Hollywood movie. He's jumping on tables. And then, of course, gravity, as we know, works very well when you punch someone. So if you could, like the high ground, we all know you got to be on the high ground if you want to win.
Best or worst moments from school, hit us up. You can still comment and text 800-394-1061. All right, it could be a big weekend in pro wrestling. We got a couple pay-per-views from the WWE and a potential massive return to wrestling tonight on AEW Rampage. Talk about it all. It's coming up. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 1061. Here's Highly Suspect.
I'll be right back.
All right, cool. I'll be honest, man. I'm excited about Rampage tonight for the first time in years outside of a pay-per-view. I'm going to watch a live wrestling show. I have not watched one in forever, but I'm very excited to watch it tonight. All right, so back to beer for breakfast. Nick Snyder, of course, coming in from Brewdog. Now, Brewdog is actually a UK initially based brewery started by a couple guys, James and Martin. Now, I don't remember what it was. Back before it was the Paramount Network, they had a TV show. I think it was just called Brewdogs, and they would travel the country, and they would just brew beer with people. And it was just a really, really cool show, and that's how I first heard about this brewery. And obviously now you can get them in the United States. So I'm excited to talk to Nick, and like Marshall was saying, a Cicerone certified beer server. So that means he's smart when it comes to beer. That's kind of awesome. So we'll talk about all of that here coming up top in the 9 o'clock hour. All right, we got about 2 minutes. We'll do some pro wrestling talk this morning. All right, getting a call. Rock 1061, who's this?
Hey, fellas, sorry I ain't called y'all in a while.
We're starting to worry about you, Vic. I'm glad you called in. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, my wife's daddy passed away
dude, I'm sorry.
a couple weeks ago, man. But I tried to get in there before it killed over. But I actually had the best day and the worst day when I was in grade school. My mom and dad, well, actually, here's how it started. I got in a fight trying to I didn't like bullies, man, because I had always been bullied all my life. You know?
Right.
And this one little fella, his name was Michael. He was kind of retarded, and this dude kept messing with him. I said, "Hey, man, leave him alone." And he wouldn't leave him alone, so I punched his ass right in his chest. And he took his breath away. He couldn't breathe. Next thing I know, I'm getting yanked up by the teacher. And I remember to this day, her name was Mrs. Dukel.
Right.
And come to find out about it, this is back in the day when you had to my dad sign a paper whether you could be paddled or not.
Right.
Well, this lady, Mrs. Zickle, she didn't know nothing about the paper, I guess, or whatever, but she paddled me anyway.
Okay.
Come to find out about it, I walked in the classroom, and I'm screaming, "That bitch ain't got no reason to be paddling me. She ain't supposed to paddle me. She didn't have no right, the bitch." Well, she heard me.
I got about 15 seconds,
Vic.
Vic.
To the damn office. And I go in the office, and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden, the principal comes out. I popped
Vic.
in the office. Mom.
Vic, we got 5 seconds. We got to go back on the air, man. I'm sorry to cut you short, but we got to run.
All right, well, I'll get back with you another day on this one.
I see you, man. Connor and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1. It's going to be a big weekend in pro wrestling. I am excited about it, and it all starts tonight. And for the first time in years, not counting a pay-per-view, I'm going to watch a live wrestling show, and that is AEW Rampage tonight at 10 o'clock, and that's because the rumored, predicted, hinted return of CM Punk could go down tonight because AEW's in Chicago, the home of CM Punk. They've got a sold-out United Center, over 20,000 people. This place is going to go nuts.
It'll be electric tonight. They only have 3 matches lined up for their hour-long show, which is more than enough, but they're definitely going to have some time. Yeah, CM Punk is showing up tonight for AEW Rampage. That's going to be on TNT later on tonight, and that is going to be a massive re-debut for CM Punk because he's been out of wrestling for 7 years now. So this is super exciting, and obviously it kind of heads up a weekend where there's a lot going on.
Now, what do you think he does with his appearance? Does he say anything? Does he come out? Does he hit somebody with the go to sleep? I don't know. You got so many options on how you can debut this guy.
I don't know. I really don't know, but I know it starts at 9. Is it 9 o'clock tonight? 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, because
it's so late.
I know. So they get like that 10 to 11. It is live out of Chicago. They'll be taping some stuff prior to that, but it will be live. But I don't think he overdoes it tonight. I think he comes out. He may make it down to the ring. Maybe he gets physical with somebody. I don't think he says a whole lot. I think they save that for Dynamite, and they tease it some more. Punk's back. Hear him speak on Wednesday on Dynamite.
Yeah, and he'll definitely be wrestling for All Out, which is their big pay-per-view happening over Labor Day weekend, September 5th. So, they only have like 2-ish weeks for him to get into a big-time pay-per-view match. So I don't think it'll be a lot tonight, but it'll speak volumes when he actually does appear.
I think it's going to overshadow most of the weekend, and that's not good for the WWE because they got 2 pay-per-views tomorrow and Sunday night, SummerSlam, NXT TakeOver. We'll talk about those coming up next. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1.
So yesterday there was an interview between the ESPN MMA guy. I forget his Hawani, I think is his name.
Yeah.
So he did an interview with Roman Reigns, kind of in preparation for SummerSlam this weekend, because of course MMA is the same thing as wrestling,
right?
For them. And Roman Reigns actually brought up, I think it was Hawani who brought up the CM Punk debut tonight, and Roman Reigns has kind of just shit on CM Punk, saying that he wasn't as over or as big of a deal as everyone thought he was. Kind of crapping on the idea that if he came back, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So it's interesting that the WWE guys would even talk about that possibility of a big return for another company on their biggest weekend, probably of the year.
Yeah, no, this is bigger for them than WrestleMania just because there's less restrictions when it comes to people watching events live. I mean, I don't disagree 100% with Roman Reigns. I mean, I don't think CM Punk was he's not as big as The Rock, and he probably wasn't as big as Cena. From a wrestling standpoint, I think he's better than both. And I mean, I think you are going to see a major uptick. And I think you'll see an uptick in viewers on Rampage tonight, and then over the next few weeks on Dynamite. But I mean, he's definitely more niche-y. It's not necessarily the more mass appeal audience that maybe WWE's going after, but diehard people and people who maybe have gotten out of wrestling because of the WWE, it brings them back. So, I mean, you will see an increase in viewers for AEW because of it.
Going back to our call-in segment, Damon has some interesting story here. Said, my high school moment is less of a moment and more of a prolonged event. My freshman year of high school, some brilliant person in the scheduling department decided to pull me out of Math 1 and throw me into PE despite not needing to actually take PE at my high school. It affected me up until my senior year, where I had to take 2 separate math classes in the same year, or I would not have graduated. Jesus. 2 math classes at the same time? That's torture. That's essentially you got waterboarded.
Nobody wants that.
Jesus Christ. He goes, in case it wasn't obvious, brilliant was me being heavily sarcastic. No, we got it. 2 math classes at the same time is essentially my worst nightmare.
I didn't like one math class.
It's the equivalent of 2 girls, 1 cup, and having to watch it over and over is Marshall doing 2 math classes at the same time. Disgusting.
Yeah, my senior year was like cake, man. My only academic class was Spanish 1.
It shows.
And then I took band. I was office help, and I had work study, so I was out the door by 12:30 every day. It was fantastic.
I obviously missed Vic and whatever Vic was talking about. Wanda said he was dropping the R word. It's not acceptable anymore. What was Vic talking about?
He was talking about his best and worst moment at school.
Oh.
How he was beating up a bully.
Okay.
And then obviously we had to cut him off because we had to go in the air.
Did it have a point, or was it just classic Vic stuff?
I think the story somewhat had a point, but it was Vic. We're going to come right out of the stop sit here.
Ooh, Damon got that person. You got that person fired because you weren't even consulted for the schedule change. Good for you. Also, what did you do to them to make you do 2 math classes in the same year? Hopefully you, I don't know, slit their tires or something after it.
All right, we got about a minute and a half.
Yeah, Sean, sorry. Yeah, I guess you missed a Vic call. So did I for the first time, and I'm kind of glad I did. Apparently it wasn't the humdinger that it usually is. A long-winded Vic story, yeah. That's what happens when, could you imagine hearing a drunk Vic story? It's even longer than what you hear a sober Vic story, so.
That is incredibly true. All right. Got about 45 seconds. Last break of the 7 o'clock hour. Friday is flying by already.
I was petty as hell. I went straight over their head to the head of the department and got them fired for it. Good for you, man.
All right, 15 seconds.
I feel like I would have, I don't know if I would do the same thing, but in hindsight, hearing your story, I would totally do the same thing.
Definitely going to be an interesting weekend in pro wrestling. Of course, a little bit ago, talked about CM Punk, his heavily rumored debut tonight on AEW Rampage. I think it's going to overshadow the weekend for the WWE. Has a couple things going on. Tomorrow night, instead of Sunday, we're getting SummerSlam from Las Vegas. Bianca Belair defending her title against Sasha Banks. It's a rematch from WrestleMania. That was the best match of WrestleMania weekend, so I think that's going to be cool. But the two biggest, I think, talking points out of SummerSlam are the men's championships. WWE Championship, Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg, who is back. They keep forcing, Goldberg and some of the older talents down our throats. However, it proves smart by WWE because ratings when Goldberg is back goes up.
Goldberg, it's like dragging a dead body out of the grave and making him do the spear, which is just very awkward. He's 50, I don't know. 50.
In his 50s. I mean, just don't make him do the jackhammer. That's how he almost killed The Undertaker, because he almost dropped him on his head.
Yeah, this is something that I don't think anyone really was asking for.
No.
But we get Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg at SummerSlam, and you said it's tomorrow night, right?
It's tomorrow night instead of Sunday. If Lashley doesn't beat Goldberg in 2 minutes or less, we're wasting time.
Well, I don't think they're going to make. I don't think they're going to have two champions retain. So the champion most likely to lose is probably going to be Bobby Lashley here. So I think Goldberg's going to win it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, nothing surprises me with the WWE anymore. I mean, if they wanted to long-term book, and I mean, I get Lashley's, not a spring chicken anymore, but he's there day in, day out, where Goldberg is, just a part-time kind of guy. So, I mean, I hope they give it to Bobby. I do, because I agree. I mean, Roman Reigns, John Cena, I mean, they have built this Roman Reigns character. They tried, for 5 years to make him a babyface and a good guy. Nobody cared because just shoving him down our throats. And they've connected with when they brought him back as a heel and just let him be a major a-hole. And he's really good at it.
Yeah, he's got a talent for sure. I think he called me up and got some lessons. But yeah, I mean, with him facing, once again, dragging out the old guys from WWE, I think this one is where Roman Reigns retains against John Cena. I think that makes the most sense.
I do too. I totally think this makes the most sense. I mean, like we were saying earlier in the week, there could be, if they feel spiteful against Ric Flair because both Cena and Flair are 16-time champions, they could have Cena beat that record. But I don't think they do. And then on Saturday, I think this is the end of NXT. Or on Sunday, I'm sorry, on Sunday night, I think this is the end of the NXT brand as we know it. I think it's going to go through some major revamping. I think Vince McMahon is going to have his hands all over it. So this could be the last traditional takeover we've seen. And two matches stand out with this. Walter versus Dragunov for the NXT UK Championship. If you've never seen a Walter match, he is just going to slap the crap out of whoever he's facing. I mean, he bruises bloodies chests with his slaps.
Okay.
That's what he's known for. And this Dragunov guy doesn't care. I mean, they've wrestled plenty of times in the indies and stuff like that. There are photos of his chests after matches with Walter where it looks like, ham. I mean, it's just disgusting. So that's going to be a great match. And then Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole in a 3 Stages of Hell match. So it's like 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is fun. 2 out of 3 falls. First match is a regular match. Second match is a street fight. And if they need the third, which they will, it'll be inside a steel cage. And there's still the rumors of Adam Cole not re-signing with NXT or WWE, where he could pop up in AEW. So this could be his last match in the WWE. So there's lots going on this weekend.
Yeah, 100%. So that's happening Sunday. Obviously, SummerSlam is Saturday. And then later on tonight, right around 10 o'clock, AEW is going to have Rampage, where you can see the return of CM Punk. And by possibly see the return, you're seeing the return of CM Punk tonight on TNT.
All right, coming up after 8 o'clock, unfortunately, a couple major bands have dropped out of Welcome to Rockville. We'll tell you who they are. We'll also talk about who should replace those bands. It's coming up next. Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1. Now, are there rumored bands who will be replacing them, or
there's no rumors yet?
Just speculation.
There's the announcement that Welcome to Rockville put out yesterday, stating that they would have some replacement bands coming up here in the next few days, as soon as possible. And then I just kind of scrolled through the comments of Welcome to Rockville and then looked at who they've actually replaced on other shows.
Yeah.
And kind of formed a list based on that. And then some people there was a great comment on just some rejuggling of the Welcome to Rockville kind of lineup, where you could actually do something very, very cool to make it more of an appealing show. instead of kind of, putting a bunch of great acts on the same night.
Right.
So,
all right. So how do you want to break this up? Just talk about them dropping out.
The first one, talk about the announcement of Nine Inch Nails, Deftones leaving. Talk about the Welcome to Rockville statement, and then we go into the second break of who could actually play.
I'll be right back.
This is interesting. So Mudvayne was currently scheduled to play on Thursday of Welcome to Rockville, but I'm now looking at livenation.com, and they have Mudvayne currently on now Thursday, which would actually fill in the spots of both Nine Inch Nails and Deftones. So I don't know if that's official yet, or I just, fell into some news here. Let me check this out. This could be very interesting. Have a good day, Terabyte. Thanks for hanging out, man. Sorry, guys. I'm having an issue logging into my Facebook. I'm trying to check out the Welcome to Rockville Facebook page. They'll update that first before they really update anything else. Okay. That's what it's saying there. Let me see if I could I'll check it on my phone. Oh, that's the group. Don't want that. So this is interesting. I just found this. So yesterday, obviously, they announced that Nine Inch Nails Deftones were canceling all their shows, and they're going to find some replacements. Now, I just went on to a Live Nation listing for Mudvayne, and they do have them on Thursday now.
Oh, really?
But there's no announcements as of right now for that. So I don't know. I don't know if that was just supposed to be for the weekend. I don't know what's the deal is. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if that's just for like the Welcome to Rockville Festival,
right,
or the specific day they're playing. But there's two listings. One says Welcome to Rockville weekend passes, and the other one is just for buying tickets to Welcome to Rockville. And they both show November 11th. I know I'm trying to be out here breaking news, Sean. Absolutely. Or it could just be a weird listing. I'm not saying, but there's a lot of comments of people trying to say that that is the best way to go, is pushing Mudvayne into a headlining slot on Thursday. But we'll get into that here in just a little bit.
All right, we've got about 6 minutes.
So proving that it's always a good idea to go to Goodwill sometimes. There was a factory-sealed copy of Nintendo's The Legend of Zelda that was sold in Connecticut. The nonprofit sold it through its online auction house. So this was donated to Goodwill. There wasn't some like person that found it and bought it for like $10 and walked away with it.
Right.
So Goodwill had it, and then they actually sold it through their online auction house for $411,000 to be specific. $278,000 they sold this thing for. It's an ultra rare old school video game, and this is a record price for it. So it's always a good idea before you decide to donate something to make sure it's not worth $400,000.
Yeah.
But good Lord. They said it's super rare to find a brand new version of a video game from 1986, and Zelda has a cult following. Add it all up, and it's a recipe for a record sale. Goodwill says the $411,000 will help the organization open a career center in Stamford, Connecticut, benefiting job seekers and surrounding communities as they look to get back to work following the pandemic. They're actually opening a new Goodwill location in Bluffton.
Okay.
It was supposed to open in September, but it got pushed back by about a month in October. A bunch of our radio stations in our group, not Rock 106.1 specifically, but like Rewind and Bob, Hot, G100, they're all going to be broadcasting live at this grand opening set for October 21st now. But that's super cool stuff. But also, what idiot donated a sealed Legend of Zelda game?
I'm going to say it was an older person who had obviously no idea what that was. Not somebody who grew up on video games. Because even if you have any sort of experience or, with anything like that, you're going to know that has got more value than a donation to Goodwill. So I'm guessing older. My mom would have done that without telling me. Yeah, I took all that stuff to Goodwill.
$411,000. Good Lord. It's probably this old person who's living in a trailer.
Could have really used the money.
Yeah. Broke their hip recently, has $100,000 in medical bills. Goodwill, can I have my game back? No. Can I have a portion of the proceeds? No.
Did you watch? I haven't yet. So, did you watch the trailer for Eternals?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
Was it good?
Yeah, it looked cool. I mean, it's a new series of heroes from the Marvel Universe, and I don't know much about them, but I thought it looked cool. I mean, I'll probably go see it in theaters.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not something that I'm super familiar with, so I can't say that I'm blown away by what I saw yesterday. I thought it looked cool, though. I'll definitely go see it.
We got about 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. Oh, man.
Yeah, Sean, I've never actually been to the Daytona Speedway where they're having the festival this year. So I don't know. It's kind of like my first time there. I've rented a house. I'm good to go. I'm excited to go check it out for the first time there at the racetrack. I know you've been there a bunch of times. I mean, how do you like the racetrack? I think you said there was some restaurants and stuff kind of outside of it and around it, but it doesn't sound like Daytona's kind of a town outside of the beach that you really go like explore in outside of maybe the track if you're going to there for an event. Is there anything else really to do in Daytona? Because, I mean, just looking at the lineup, there's a bunch of bands that I don't need to see. And a lot of them play early. So I think I'm going to have some time during the day to kind of go mess around. So if there's something that you could think of to do in Daytona, sometime during the day that I can go check out, let me know.
Say it's very touristy. I mean, you'll get anything you want to do tourist related, got you covered. Back in the day, they used to kind of have like a boardwalk with like shops and games and stuff like that. I don't know if they still do. Yeah. See you later, Rhett. Thanks for hanging out. And I don't see it leaving Daytona anytime soon. I don't think it's going back to Jacksonville, guys. All right, got about 45 seconds.
Yeah, it seems like the infrastructure of a racetrack seems to do fairly well for events like this, and they moved their event epicenter, which is their Charlotte version of this, to a racetrack as well. So they didn't do epicenter this year, but they plan on doing it next year, and I think they're going to be making that move to that Charlotte racetrack, definitely.
All right, guys, got about 15 seconds. We'll be right back. Got some bummer news about Welcome to Rockville. That's coming up right now. Don't forget to hop on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Become part of the Horde. While you're there, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. So it was announced yesterday that 2 bands are canceling their tours, and that means 2 bands will be coming off the Welcome to Rockville lineup, both of them on Thursday. We're talking Deftones, and one band I was so ready to see. 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, so Rockville put out the announcement yesterday, said Rockvillians, unfortunately, 9 Inch Nails and Deftones have canceled their 2021 U.S. performances, including the Thursday night at Welcome to Rockville. We are working around the clock on their replacements, and we'll be announcing very, very soon. We thank you for your continued patience, and we simply cannot wait to see you all at Rockville this November. Now, 9 Inch Nails had a plethora of shows, including festival shows, one of them being the Riot Festival in Chicago, where as soon as 9 Inch Nails announced that they were not touring, they immediately announced that Slipknot would be replacing them. So that we have that kind of as a basis of possibly what we could expect when it comes to bands replacing. I mean, these two headliners, they were the top 2 bands on Thursday. Now they're just little dots on the Welcome to Rockville website.
I unfortunately, unless things change, I don't think this is going to be the last bands who start backing out of festivals or start canceling tours into this year and maybe even early into next year. So I don't know. I don't think we've seen the last of this. I mean, Stevie Nicks pulled all of her shows for this year. Other bands are doing it. I think this could just be the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the likelihood of Rockville. I mean, I'm going to stay positive. Positive vibes only for Welcome to Rockville, but I'm not going to be surprised if something negative happens to the show overall. But once again, positive vibes only, crossing our fingers. So, Cotter, we need to come up with some ideas on who could replace these 2, major bands for Thursday's headliner slots of 9 Inch Nails and Deftones.
All right, I've got some ideas.
Yep.
I know you got some ideas as well, Marshall. So we'll get to those next. Mammoth WVH. This is Don't Back Down. Cotter and Marshall Show. Rock 106.1.
Let's see. Things to do in Daytona. Let's see. Sean says it's a fun place. The track, there's a really fun go-kart track across the street. The boardwalk, old school arcades.
Yep.
Wanda says, Aunt Catfish's Sunday brunch. That sounds something interesting.
Name alone, I kind of want to be in for that.
Sean says the boardwalk is still there. They still have the slot machines that dump out coins.
Yeah, I remember doing all that stuff.
He says you should try the coffee cup is a must. It's on Nova Road. All right, I like coffee. I'm a coffee guy. There's a dog track and a poker card room near the track. Nice. And the Daytona Tortugas baseball team. I doubt they're playing in November, though. Let's see. So Rebel Rock in Orlando, this is not a Danny Wimmer production.
Yeah.
They have actually a COVID compliance. They just put out like this is what you have to do to go to our Rebel Rock show in Orlando, which I think is a 2-day festival. I think it's got Shinedown on it.
Okay.
They said, we will not be requiring a proof of vaccination. We will not be asking for a negative test result. We are requiring you to wear a mask while going through security to enter the venue. Please have a mask with you. We highly recommend that you wear a mask where social distancing is not possible. We request that you wear a mask when making any transactions at any concessions or merchandise. A cashless payment system will be in place. Hand sanitizer stations will be located throughout the festival site. And then it says something in red I can barely read. We ask that if you are experiencing any symptoms related to COVID-19, please stay home and take care of yourself. There you go. Man, Florida, crazy.
Got about a minute 40?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Rockville will have, if it does happen, it's going to have some sort of like restrictions when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Yeah. ACL in Austin announced that you either have to have a vaccination or negative test.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what Danny Wimmer has done at some of his other shows as well.
Yeah, Charles, thank you for passing that Rebel Rock info along. I don't know if, I think Danny Wimmer, I think he has some stuff already for a couple of his other shows. That's obviously pretty loose. I think we could both say that. So I think it'll be a little bit more restrictive when it comes to COVID stuff. My guess is you'll probably have to at least have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of entering the venue. Probably when it comes to Welcome to Rockville, but that's all speculation. I'm really guessing at that point. Nicole, couldn't agree more. I think those would both be excellent choices to join the Thursday lineup. Cross your fingers, but got some ideas. And actually, the Welcome to Rockville fans were very boastful and wanted their voices heard when it come to bands that could fill in. So it's I've got a bunch of suggestions from Welcome to Rockville fans for who could possibly fill on Thursday.
All right, guys, I got about 10 seconds. Be right back. It was just recently announced that several bands canceling their tours in 2021, which will affect Welcome to Rockville. More specifically, the Thursday night of Welcome to Rockville. Both Deftones and 9 Inch Nails are out. Now, they haven't officially announced anybody yet to replace them. They said that's coming. Mm-hmm. There was another festival that 9 Inch Nails was on. It was the
Riot Festival.
Riot Fest, and then the Slipknot took over for them. They also added Morrissey as well. I don't think we're going to get Morrissey at Welcome to Rockville.
I don't think we need Morrissey.
Nope. I'm not a teenage girl from the 80s. I don't need Morrissey, but I'd be down for Slipknot coming back to Rockville, though.
Yeah, so Slipknot's a possibility. I haven't worked out the routing or saw if there's any conflicting dates, but obviously, crossing my fingers, Slipknot would be an amazing fill-in for that Thursday show. Now, there's two bands kind of to fill in because Deftones and 9 Inch Nails both pretty much the same exact time yesterday. Yeah. Both decided to cancel their tours for 2021. Trent Reznor just said that he was really excited about doing these shows. He just imagined it to be in this amazing moment of relief that he wanted to share with everyone. But due to obviously COVID cases going crazy, he wanted to stay safe. Trent's, he's in his later years. He's in his mid-50s. He's got 2 kids. I don't think he wants to bring anything home. So, I'd much rather him feel safer than be sorry if he did contract anything out on the road. But there's loads of bands, once again, to fill in. Slipknot is the obvious one. Yeah. But lots of suggestions on the Welcome to Rockville page of bands like Korn, who obviously Jonathan Davis is currently fighting some COVID stuff right now. That was announced on Monday. But Korn, Breaking Benjamin, Shinedown is a possible fill-in for Thursday as well. Now, both System of a Down and Faith No More are doing some shows on the West Coast.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people are crossing their fingers that those could be 2 possible fill-ins for that Thursday slot as well.
I'd be down for both of those because, I worked out some bands that I've seen before that I know would bring it. Foo Fighters were a replacement for Stevie Nicks. at Shaky Knees.
Right.
So, I mean, Foo Fighters, always going to be great. Papa Roach, I mean, they always put on a great live show, never disappoint.
Yep.
Volbeat, and then I did have System of a Down on that list, who we saw years and years and years ago. I mean, you want to go above and beyond. Not that I'm saying, System is better than Nine Inch Nails, but I mean, I think if you're going to bring somebody in, you almost have to. It's got to be on the same level, or somebody that people are more excited to see, and I think System could be that band.
Yeah, it needs to be a bigger name for sure. One person said Rage Against the Machine, but that's just wishful thinking. Those guys are not doing anything this year, although they do have some tour dates plotted out for 2022. I mean, I would love to see, and of course I don't have it on my screen right now, I would love to see that band I like. Anyway, I mean, a lot of people are talking about the reconfiguration of the festival itself as well. People are talking about possibly shifting Mudvayne up to Thursday. They're stuffed into Sunday for some reason with Metallica and Lynyrd Skynyrd. I would love to see Mudvayne get more of a headlining slot if possible. So moving Mudvayne and Rob Zombie into that Thursday slot, I think would probably be the best reorganization if they really couldn't pull any more talent into those Thursday slots that Nine Inch Nails and Deftones kind of vacated. So I think if Mudvayne and Rob Zombie could headline Thursday and we just kind of shifted everything up that way, I think that would be a great way of going about it.
I'm down for that. Two other bands I had that I'd never seen, and I don't think they're going to do it. Pearl Jam. I think
they only have the one show. Yeah,
I know. And Limp Bizkit, the resurgence of Limp Bizkit right now. Throw them on Welcome to Rockville.
Yeah, they unfortunately canceled the rest of their tours this year for COVID results. Oh, the one band I was thinking of was Run the Jewels. Well, obviously, would love to see Run the Jewels. A little different, but you know what? Welcome to Rockville is just a little different overall. It's Florida. It gets weird. So Run the Jewels, I think, could be a possible cool replacement for Thursday as well.
All right, coming up next, we're going to talk fantasy football. The Cotter and Marshall Fantasy Football League is back. Let you know how you can get in on the action. It's coming up next. Cotter and Marshall, Rock 106.1.
Good morning, Andrew. How's it going? Yeah, Breaking Benjamin could be fun, Mac. I agree. I think they would be a good replacement for like a second, like not the headliner, but like being that second replacement band for a Thursday. Yeah, according to Rebel Rock, that's interesting. According to Rebel Rock, Limp Bizkit's still playing that festival. I mean, they said they canceled all festival or all tour dates. So I wonder if they are, honestly. Yeah, they're still in the lineup. Interesting. Yeah, Rebel Rock is such a weird little festival. So it's technically 4 days. Thursday, you have Volbeat and POD. Those are the headliners. Friday, you got Machine Gun Kelly and Limp Bizkit.
Right.
Saturday, you got Papa Roach, Five Finger Death Punch. And then Sunday, you got The Used and Rise Against. And no offense to Five Finger Death Punch. God, I hope they are not the Thursday replacement. I do not need... I've seen Five Finger Death Punch at Welcome to Rockville like every year.
Yeah.
I need a break.
Yeah, I can see it being Five Finger Death Punch, though.
Megadeth and Lamb of God would actually be really interesting, Charles.
That'd
That's
be
actually
cool.
That's a good choice there.
Yeah.
I mean, they are supposed to be going out on tour.
Thank you, Mick.
Actually, I think their first tour date is today, speaking of on that show. Megadeth and Lamb of God, they're playing Austin, Texas tonight. Then they got a bunch of shows kind of coming up. Let's see. Do they have any close to here? I thought they were playing Atlanta one date.
Okay. All right, so going to talk fantasy football. We've got trivia on the way. And then we'll head into 9 o'clock. Beer for breakfast. Nick Snyder from Brewdog, the territory manager for Georgia and Tennessee. Brewdog started in, I believe, Scotland in the UK. I first learned about the brewery thanks to the TV show that the founders did. Now they've got their United States branch. You can get the beer all over the place. Did some digging. Both James Watt and Martin Dickey, who are the guys behind Brewdog, both worth over $400 million because of this brewery. They've done okay for themselves.
Yeah, they definitely take care of their employees. It's a really interesting deal they have going on with how they've expanded so quickly and really turned Brewdog into a major beer brand. Although I honestly don't know if I've ever really drank much Brewdog before, if at all.
I've had, I want to say we did one work release program, Beer Review Supremacy. I think we did one of their beers a while ago.
Breaking Benjamin would be a great Deftones replacement. I agree, but they need a bigger status band to really fill that headlining slot. Yeah, Lamb of God is a fun show. I 100% agree with that, Charles. Sean, if you get an opportunity, Lamb of God is cool. Man, I'd love to see Megadeth again. It's been quite some time since I've seen those guys.
Yeah, when was that, Rockville? 6 years ago?
It's quite a while ago, yeah.
Okay, man. I'm ready for the weekend. I just think it's going to be uber busy again.
In what way?
Seeing the movie today. I do have some work still to do. I got to edit the Latin Lunch show. I haven't done that yet because I'm still waiting on some audio. So I got to do that. I got to write trivia. Going to hit up Coastal tomorrow for their 10th anniversary. There is, I don't think I'm going to go to there's a foster pet thing again at PetSmart, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Just a lot going on. SummerSlam tomorrow. Yeah, it's just busy. The weekend's going to be gone before I know it. All right, we got about 2.5 minutes. Get into some fantasy football talk. I've never actually seen Breaking Benjamin. Have you?
No, not on purpose.
Just stumble drunkenly into a Breaking Benjamin show?
No, honestly, I'm not a big fan of them.
Okay.
I mean, they're cool. I mean, they're okay, but I would not go out of my way
I get that.
to go see Breaking Benjamin. But yeah, if I happen to be standing at a stage, hanging out, talking to someone, drinking a beer, and then Breaking Benjamin happened to break out into a set, technically I saw them. Maybe I walked away. I'm not for sure.
All right, we've got about 90 seconds.
Actually, I think the next show that I'm going to is, I'm going to see Shinedown in St. Augustine on October 8th. I mean,
right.
That's how long technically tickets I know I have. Obviously I'll go see Pop Evil here
right
on Tuesday, August 31st with the new date. But yeah, I mean, tickets that I have or bought or someone gave to me that I'm going to see is Shinedown. Man, it just feels like forever. Obviously, since I've seen a lot of live music.
Yeah, going to the Hella Mega Tour, it was, like I said, it was weird because it's like the shows I've been to recently have either been smaller like Victory North, or even the last few big shows I've been to have all been festivals.
Mm-hmm.
So going to like a more traditional concert where you're just there and it's just the three bands, you're not moving around, was it was cool. It was just kind of a different experience. All right, 30 seconds. All right, guys, be right back. Regular season NFL football starts up September 9th. That means it's also time to get ready for fantasy football. And we are back, baby. The Cotter and Marshall Fantasy Football League.
All right, so 12 people, 12 slots are available, and 12 of you are going to fill them in a very non-sexual way. Here's the deal. The person that does the best in our league throughout the playoffs are going to win a pair of weekend passes for next year's Welcome to Rockville 2022. So what you need to do to be a part of the Cotter and Marshall Fantasy Football League is head on over to rock1061.com, fill out the form, and then here in the next few days, week-ish, we are going to go through these with a fine-tooth comb and pick the 6 lucky people from the online portion, and 6 people will join us from the on-air side to join the Fantasy Football League of ours.
And the draft is going down Saturday, September 4th, so right around the corner, man. I can't believe I'm so excited for football, for fantasy football. This is going to be a lot of fun. If you've participated in our leagues in the past, you know that. You can sign up, maybe get another shot to do it again. So once again, head up the website now, get signed up. Cotter and Marshall Fantasy Football League. Coming up, we're going to play some trivia. Here's The Who and Papa Roach. It's Wolf Totem, Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1.
Yeah, so for Are You Smarter Than a Community College Dropout trivia that we'll do here in just a few minutes, 3.5 to be exact. 7 questions, 60 seconds. You guys kind of know that deal. But more importantly, we'll hook you up with 2 great prizes, one of them being free passes into the Tailgate Bar Crawl, which is going to be going down September 4th. We'll also hook you up with passes to go check out White Reaper. That's October 22nd over at District Live, which is the brand new venue over at Plant Riverside. So it's like a 500-person general admission kind of room. But they've sunk in a ton of cash to make it really, really high end. I'm excited to go in there for my very first time. I don't know what show I'm going to be going to first, but there are a bunch of shows on the way. One of those shows got announced very low key. Aaron Jones, who we play here on Rock 106.1.
Yes.
He's going to be playing that very small room coming up here before the end of the year. I forget the date exactly. I think it's October.
Yeah, I think it was like that one I am so excited for. His new song, Supercharged, so it's like his 3rd song, but the new one is by far my favorite. It is so good. So I am honestly excited about seeing that show. So that'll be a lot of fun.
White Reaper, going back to them, they play October 21st, and they actually have a support. Their support band, Glove. Never heard of them, but I'm sure they're great. Aaron Jones plays Saturday, October 23rd, so he's in town on a perfect night to get downtown and enjoy yourselves, man. I mean, at that point, the weather should be cooling off.
Yeah.
It'll be really fun to be walking down Plant Riverside, chucking out $12 for a beer. If you're going to Plant Riverside, and then, of course, seeing Aaron Jones. Tickets are cheap. They're $15 in advance, $20 day of show. But he's once again playing at District Live, which is that new Live Nation venue plan of the Plant Riverside District.
David Kemp threw out Slipknot and Avenged Sevenfold.
I don't think Avenged Sevenfold's working right now, though.
They're such a weird band. It's like they'll release an album and then they'll tour, massively, and then it's like you don't hear from them for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way they go about things, I think, is kind of the older school mentality, but I kind of like it when it comes to their social media, but also when it comes to, putting out new music and being active. They do take good amounts of downtime. Yeah. I mean, if you want to find M Shadows most nights, he's playing Call of Duty. You can easily find M Shadows, playing. And I don't know if he's got a Twitch channel or not, but I'm sure he should, because I know the guys have been also working on a new album. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the new Avenged Sevenfold album is damn near done, but I think the thing is they're going to wait till next year to release anything because they want to be able to tour on it, and they're hoping that, cross your fingers, all this Coco stuff gets really tamed down at that point.
Right.
So. I think they've got their gun loaded. I think they're just waiting to shoot it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
When it comes to their plans for 2022. But man, if they got them to play Welcome to Rockville, talk about a jump in ticket sales. Yeah. That would be a massive get for them. And especially both those bands on the same night, it would. Welcome to Rockville would not make any money because they would have to pay everything to get those two bands, Dave. Wishful thinking, though.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. All right, guys, be right back. Are you smarter than a community college dropout? Brought to you by the Savannah Bar Crawl. It is now time to give us a call and challenge either myself or Marshall to a round of trivia.
That's right. You could win some great prizes just by playing us as well. First and foremost, we'll hook you up with a pair of tickets to go check out White Reaper October 21st at District Live, that brand new venue down on the waterfront. We'll also hook you up with a pair of passes from our great sponsor. That's right, the Savannah Bar Crawl. The Tailgate Bar Crawl is going down Saturday, September 4th. Big game that day between the Bulldogs and Clemson. So call us up right now, 1-800-394-1061. We'll hook you up with both those prizes just for playing us. You don't even have to win.
Are you smarter than a community college dropout? Brought to you by the Savannah Bar Crawl. It's coming up next. Cotter and Marshall, Rock 1061. Rock 1061, who's this?
Hey, this is Steve.
Steve, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Who do you want to take on today, myself, Cotter, or Marshall?
Cotter, I need some revenge. I'm going to take you on.
All right, perfect, man. Good luck, good luck, good luck.
All right. Can you turn my mic on?
Oh, sorry. Wrong one.
All right, Steve. Whew. So much stuff going on.
That's fine. That's my brother's name.
I'll call you either, Mike or Steve. All right, Steve, here's the deal. 7 questions, 60 seconds. If you don't know the answer to one of these, feel free to say pass. There is going to be 3 different multiple choices. I'll give you a heads up before we start each one. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, perfect. So here we go. Question number 1 is multiple choice. What legendary director shot the Michael Jackson video Bad? Was it Stanley Kubrick or Martin Scorsese?
Sammy.
That is incorrect. Question number 2. What object did Ben Franklin attach to the end of a kite string to prove that lightning is electricity?
A key.
That is correct. Question number 3. In what country is the Nobel Peace Prize awarded?
Is it Europe?
Incorrect. Question number 4. In the film Men in Black 3, what did Agent K like to eat in order to think better? It's multiple choice. Did he like to eat cake or pie?
I think it was pie.
That is correct. Question number 5. Name one of the 2 consecutive signs of the zodiac that begin with the same letter. Once again, sorry, question number 5. I think I said that weird. Question number 5. Name one of the 2 consecutive signs of the zodiac that begin with the same letter.
Leo and Libra.
That is incorrect. Question number 6. What animator created and provided the voices for Beavis and Butthead?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
What animator created and provided the voices for Beavis and Butthead?
Mike Judge.
That is correct. And our final question, Pilgrims never called themselves Pilgrims. What were they called? It's multiple choice. Separatists or colonists?
Separatists.
That is correct, and your time is up. Steve, you got 4 out of 7 correct today. Cotter?
Yes.
Steve got 4. Steve or Mike, depending on what you want to call him. Steve or Mike got himself 4 out of 7 today.
Dang it.
So you got 60 seconds to see if you could do better. Either way, Steve, we're still going to hook you up with some prizes. So hold on the line for us. Cotter, your time's going to begin after I ask the first question. There are 3 multiple choice questions. I'll try to give you a heads up before I do each and every one. So here we go. First question is multiple choice. What legendary director, what legendary director shot the Michael Jackson video Bad? Stanley Kubrick or Martin Scorsese?
Martin Scorsese.
That is correct. Question number 2. What object did Ben Franklin attach to the end of a kite string to prove the lightning is electricity?
Key.
That's correct. Question number 3. In what country is the Nobel Peace Prize awarded?
Poland?
Incorrect. Question number 4 is multiple choice. In the film Men in Black 3, what did Agent K like to eat in order to think better? Cake or pie?
Pie.
Correct. Question number 5. Name one of the 2 consecutive signs of the zodiac that begin with the same letter.
Cancer?
Incorrect. Question number 6. What animator created and provided the voices for Beavis and Butthead?
Mike Judge.
That is correct. And question number 7. Question number 7 is multiple choice. Pilgrims never called themselves Pilgrims. What were they called? Separatists or colonists?
Separatists.
That is correct. Cotter, you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 get the win today by 1.
Oh, come on.
Eked it out, man. Eked it out. But don't worry, still gonna hook you up with some tickets, man.
I appreciate it. You still got the belt.
Bring it on anytime, man. Happy to take on the challenge. All right, Steve, we'll give you a call in the next day or so. Maybe early next week. We'll get you set up with everything, okay?
Very cool. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it. See you,
man. Sorry, I just need to
you're good.
This up. All right, guys, let's go ahead and go over the correct answers for Are You Smarter Than a Community College Dropout Trivia, brought to you by the Savannah Bar Crawl. Question number 1, what legendary director shot the Michael Jackson video Bad? That is Martin Scorsese. Question number 2, what object did Ben Franklin attach to the end of a kite string to prove that lightning is electricity? He put on a key to his kite. Question number 3, in what country is the Nobel Peace Prize awarded? It is Norway. Question number 4, in the film Men in Black 3, what did Agent K like to eat in order to think better? He liked to eat pie. Question 5, name one of the 2 consecutive signs of the zodiac that begin with the same letter, Scorpio or Sagittarius.
Okay.
Question number 6, what animator created and provided the voices for Beavis and Butthead? An absolute layup of a question. That's Mike Judge. And question number 7, Pilgrims never called themselves excuse me. Apparently dying over here of thirst. Pilgrims never called themselves Pilgrims. What were they called? Separatists or colonists? They were called separatists.
All right, back at it Monday. Your chance to play around 8:30. Are You Smarter Than a Community College Dropout? Brought to you by the Savannah Bar Crawl. Rock 106.1.
We'll be right back with audio on the stream while we edit that up. All right, guys, we're back on the stream. I just had to run out. Our guest has arrived. He's out in the lobby right now, a little early, but we'll bring Nick in here in just a little while for Beer for Breakfast. That'll start top the 9 o'clock hour.
All right. Cool. All right. Yeah, almost down to the final hour of the show. Nick from Brewdog, Beer for Breakfast, some Marshall's Music News. Get out of here. Sticking around after the show today, or are you taking off?
I'm taking off. I got some stuff I'm going to take care of at the house.
Nice. I think I am doing the same. Outside of watching a movie first. I'll probably run home, let the dog out before I go to the movie.
Wanda, I agree. We do need a lobby greeter, especially on Friday. So I'm going to need you to come on in and take care of that. That would actually help out tremendously. I wouldn't have to jump off the stream and run and grab, all of our stuff for Beer for Breakfast each morning. And then you can just come on the stream and hang out with us for Beer for Breakfast. Yeah. Just have you just hang out in the background.
Eventually a producer.
So, Connor, with your win, you're at 37 wins, 8 losses, and 3 ties. We were tied for wins outside of the win you just picked up, so
right.
You're 1 up now.
The Kevin Smith of wins.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is. Clerks 3 is currently filming. He's receiving all sorts of weird comment. Kevin Smith loves to respond to his hate comments. So if you check out his Twitter page, and check out his replies. He replies to people that literally talk mad crap to him. It's pretty funny.
I hope it's good. I mean, I know Clerks always got a special place in his heart. I dug Clerks 2 for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I want it to be good. I really liked the last Jay and Bob reboot movie. I thought it was honestly one of the better movies he's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of okay. You always kind of want new stuff from Kevin Smith. He's kind of set the standard for what kind of shows and projects that he has.
Yeah.
Just doesn't seem like he's ever really done anything new. He just keeps going back to the well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And then the stuff he does new, it's quite yoga hosers. I mean, that's very questionable.
He did kind of a horror thing for a minute that I thought was interesting. I thought he was actually a decent horror director with movies kind of like Red State and Tusk, which was just really a disturbing film.
Tusk is just bizarre. Red State is my favorite non-US universe movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think Red State. I wish he would have gone full in the ending. Because the ending. Spoiler: it's been out long enough. The ending, it was the whole movie is kind of religious related, and it was about a sign and the trumpets blowing from heaven, and it ends with what sounds like the trumpets from heaven, and it's not. But I wish they would have gone all in and just had it have been the trumpets from heaven. But it is such a good and so out of left field for Kevin Smith. Not what I expected at all. but I will definitely go see Clerks 3 in the theaters if it's a theater release.
It'll be interesting. I don't know what movie company he teamed up with for it, but it definitely sounds like a video on demand type of film.
And that could be it. And if that's the case, I'll watch it there.
So it's really funny. So Spider-Man No Way Home, it's coming out right around Christmas time, like a week before Christmas this year. And it's currently almost the end of August, and we still haven't received a trailer for it. So we're, September, October, November. We're within that 4-month range of when this film comes out. Generally, you see trailers for films like a year out, 6 months out. Now we're currently, we're within that time frame. So Marvel Studio President Kevin Feige was asked about Spider-Man. They're like, hey, when are we going to see a trailer for this film? We all want to see what the new Spider-Man film is going to be about. Kevin Feige was doing some press for Shang-Chi. He said, Shang-Chi is coming out. The Eternals trailer just came out. But yes, on December 17th, we have the third in our Homecoming trilogy with Sony and John Watts with Tom Holland. I can only guarantee that there will be a trailer before the movie comes out.
All right, fair enough.
So Kevin Feige obviously giving us absolutely nothing, as he always does.
Yeah.
But it is a co-production between them and Sony. So it's I don't know. Maybe he couldn't speak on it because he can't speak on behalf of Sony. But the movie comes out Friday, December 17th. And, there's tons of talk about, doing the multiverse of Spider-Mans, putting them all in one movie with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Yeah. So everyone is very, very excited about a new Spider-Man film.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think Tom Holland's a great Spider-Man. I've loved those movies so far. If they get weird and, have different Spider-Men or different villains from some of the other movies, I'm like, bring it on, man. I think that's just kind of a neat idea. All right, commercials now. Got some Alice in Chains, Linkin Park, both of those before we get to Beer for Breakfast. Brought to you by Coach's Corner. What do they got coming up music-wise?
A bunch of cover bands. That's kind of their deal.
It is. Tom Petty's, the National Tom Petty Tribute Band, the Petty Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
They have not any shows this weekend? That's next weekend in September. Huh. I don't know. Maybe they don't have any shows this weekend. That would kind of be a first. Oh, here we go. The Bitter Roots is tonight.
That John Cabrera's band?
It is not. So in our meeting, he was, you need to have a reggae night. That was pretty funny.
There's nothing more than our friend John likes to do than get high and play the bongos, dude. He is that guy.
And he's in a band where he is that guy. The band is really good, though. They played an event out at Harley Davidson, and I was really impressed. They got a great lead singer. All right, so I guess we'll just kind of stick with that.
I'm just sharing the show to channels for Beer for Breakfast.
Yeah, no worries. Where was that? So, according to a new survey, the average American only experiences truly pain-free days 13 times a year.
What do you mean by pain-free?
Where just, where you're not hurting. Your back's not hurting. Your neck's not hurting. Your legs aren't hurting. So out of a year, 13 times a year are truly only pain-free days. So 96% of the year, according to this survey, people are just miserable and in pain. 48% of people say it's hard to believe that they'll ever have another pain-free day.
Jesus Christ.
The survey also found that the average person feels 6 years older than they actually are due to aches and pains. And when it comes to pain tolerance, 65% of people say that women have a higher pain tolerance than men. So yeah, I can agree with that. I think my body's in pain most days.
That's not good. That's definitely not good.
No, I agree. But it's a thing.
I don't know. Are you just talking like aches and pains?
Yeah,
like,
aches and pains.
I don't know. I think I have a lot more than that. A lot more than 13. My elbow kind of hurt me this week because I've been doing so many burpees. But yeah, I definitely have more than 13 pain-free days a year. That is insane to me.
It's a rough life. Ooh. Earlier this week, Blues Travelers tour bus crashed.
Was John Popper on it?
He was injured.
The American Treasure?
He was injured.
That's terrible.
Bus crashed Wednesday night on its way to a show in Rochester, Minnesota. Bus crashed into a median, and passengers were trapped inside until law enforcement and first responders arrived. John Popper, one of the 3 people who had to be treated for injuries at a local hospital. None of them were life-threatening. John's ribs were injured, and a bandmate had a dislocated shoulder.
Ooh, but did they play the show?
I'm going to say no.
John Popper trying to play harmonica with broken ribs is pretty much an impossible task. Playing a harmonica at all is almost impossible. Playing with broken ribs is 100% no way.
That is a band I would go see. I've never seen
them before.
them.
They're great.
I bet they are. I mean,
they played the Ogeechee Seafood Festival.
Yep, a couple years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'd go see them. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Are they jam bandy at all, or is it?
No.
Okay.
Not when I saw them. I mean, they very well could be, but they play the hits, man. They play the hits. They're awesome, and they sound tight. I mean, they're so good live. I really enjoy Blues Traveler. I mean, I wish I had an opportunity to see them more than I have.
Right.
But yeah, I would go see Blues Traveler. I highly recommend seeing them.
All right, I'm going to take us off the stream audio-wise just for a second so I can fire up the delay. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, that was it.
Max says, I feel 6 years older than my age, but not because of pain, lifestyle choices. Max says that the Spider-Man trailer will be coming out during the previews of Shang-Chi. That film comes out a couple weeks from now, actually. Maybe. I could honestly see them holding on to the Spider-Man stuff like all the way into the Eternals. The Eternals come out in November. I mean, it's Spider-Man. They know it's going to sell. I don't think they actually have to spend a ton of money on marketing when it comes to that film.
Yeah, there is no need to sweat that.
Morning, A-Dub.
What up, A-Dub? Just saw your text, A-Dub. No worries. Have a good weekend, man. Will not be in today. It's got A-Dub stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing when you're the boss. Technically, everything is A-Dub stuff.
That's true.
How much time we got?
We've got 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
I'm going to grab Nick.
All right, sounds good. Nick from Brewdog in for beer for breakfast. Very excited about this. Ready to kick off the weekend with a couple tasty beverages. All right, getting Nick set. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Nick, this is Cotter. Cotter, this is Nick.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Ooh, I like that.
I love that.
That is badass. Is that That's that is the Iron Maiden
beer.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that. I forgot that we talked about that for a second.
Yeah.
Is that one available yet?
It literally just got released this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that one we're going to try on? Perfect. I love it.
I like it.
So Iron Maiden has their new CD called Senjutsu.
Yep.
So that album, they sent a preview copy to Chris Jericho. He's a wrestler, and he talked about how it was a slow burner.
Okay.
He said it's an album that you must listen to multiple times, and then he brought up 3 tracks that he really did enjoy. But I mean, when it comes to Iron Maiden, I mean, each song is like a roller coaster of like 12 minutes long. Like, they talk about jam bandy. Iron Maiden in their older age had become the ultimate jam band. But really cool. And thank you so much for coming in. I know you're based out of Atlanta. You drove in last night, and it must have been really difficult to do that so drunk. But
They tend to frown upon that.
oh, do they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did some research into Brewdog, and we'll bring this up once we're on the air. But
And just talk right into the mic, too.
Yeah, sure.
Being a member of the Brewdog family, it's got its perks, man. It sounds like it's got some really good perks. Would you say that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so I found some stuff. I'm just going to have you confirm it for me. And we're going to do that once we're on the air. How far away are we from?
We've got about 3.5 minutes.
Perfect. Excellent. This is our studio. That is the Fart Launcher 3000 gun on the wall. I'm sure you noticed that first thing.
Oh, sure.
The Slave One Boba Fett ship, Lego ship. Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Obviously, lots of stuff going on.
I've heard of that guy. We're not drinking Malort this morning, are we?
We can if you want.
Only if you hate yourself this early in the morning.
Happy for you to do another shot, or you to do a shot.
So I was at the speakeasy of the Prohibition Museum here in Savannah, and my friend Jason's a bartender there. He's a great guy, and he makes some of the best cocktails in the city. So I had a guy in town from Chicago, and he went up to talk to Jason real quick, and then they came over with 5 shots, and they looked at me, and they're like, "You know what this is?" And I'm like, "No, you don't have it. There's no way." We did a shot of Malort. And I was like, Jesus Christ, really? Do we have to do this?
Yes, you do.
Malort is horrific. Have you had a shot of Malort before?
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes, I have.
You look like you've been touched by the Malort.
Sure.
Yeah, it changed your life, right?
I'm a little bit more dead inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't know that was possible.
Sure.
Go ahead and tell us, on a scale of 1 to 10, did you love it? Would you give it to your worst enemy?
Man.
He's still so scarred. He doesn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what to say about Malort. We had
it's the devil's brew.
We had bad times together.
Yeah. Malort is it's something special. It took actually a while. It's not really available in the area. I had my friend drive it down from Central Illinois because it is a Chicago liqueur. But it's like a wormwood vodka-y, in essence, liquid.
Sure.
I don't even want to give it the right of calling it a nice liquor because it's not, and it tastes horrific. And
I don't believe they pretend.
Oh, they know what it is.
They know it. Yeah.
But there's that one person out there that likes it, and I want to meet that person and just why. What did you do wrong in your life that makes you like this?
I was actually in a bar last week, and they had a poster, an advertisement for Malort, and it said. Yes, it was a bottle of Malort, and the slogan was "Tonight's the night that you're gonna get in a fight with your dad."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. They embrace it. They know it.
You ever want to arm wrestle a stranger? Drink some Malort.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, Liquid definitely was screaming your name there. Max says, "Morning, Nick."
Hello.
You're a cicerone. I got that from your business card.
So I am a certified beer server cicerone, not a certified cicerone.
Okay, well I need you. We're gonna jump on the air here.
We'll get that on.
I need you to make sure we know what the hell that means.
Sure.
I already know you're smarter than me when it comes to beer, so it's not.
Don't be so humble. Don't be so humble.
All right, guys. We've got about 15. We'll be right back. Good morning. Thank you for hanging out, Cotter and Marshall Show. It is time for Beer for Breakfast. It is brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt tonight in the Sound Garden. You can check out the Bitter Roots. Get more details at Coach's Facebook page. So joining us now for Beer for Breakfast from Brewdog, we've got Nick Snyder. Nick is the territory manager, Georgia, Tennessee for Brewdog. Good morning. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Now, Brewdog started in Scotland, correct? UK.
Yes.
And I think I was first introduced to the brewery because the guys, James and Martin, had the TV show.
Yep.
And that's how I first learned about it. And then I think a couple years later, it finally became available here in the United States. So, I mean, this is, truly like a worldwide thing. I mean, it's all over the place, with the beer and then with the guys who own the place.
Yep, absolutely.
So when it comes to Brewdog, you guys have a brewery here in the United States, correct?
Yes, we sure do.
And where's that located at?
That's located just southeast of downtown Columbus, Ohio.
Of course, the beautiful the beautiful town of Columbus, Ohio. Why not put a brewery there? The land must have literally been donated to you.
I will neither confirm nor deny that.
So when it comes to working for Brewdog, I did some research yesterday, and you guys are actually in the Times Top 100 Best Employers. So people love working for Brewdog all across the world. Now, I was looking at your boilerplate type of stuff, and I thought this was an interesting line, and confirm or deny this. It says that you guys are breaking into international markets like a shark on steroids. Can you confirm or deny that the company endorses sharks taking steroids?
Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Jose Canseco is one of our first investors. So.
Well, Well, the cool thing is working for Brewdog, and we got a chance to talk a little bit before we jumped on the air, is you guys have all sorts of incredible perks for working for this awesome company. So before we get into the beer review, and we have a beer from Iron Maiden,
yes,
a beer that was just released called Hellcat. We'll get into that here in just a little while, but you guys have incredible perks. So let's go over a couple of them. Do you actually have a monthly beer allowance, and how do you get to use it? If so.
Well, yes, we do have a monthly beer allowance. For those that work close to the brewery, they just go to the brewery and pick up a case of beer. Myself, I pick it up from my distributor once a month.
So do you have to, but is it only Brewdog beer, or do you get hey, here's $50, go grab some PBRs?
We like to do our market research, but when it comes to the free beer, it's Brewdog beers.
So when it comes to also other perks, I also see there's some sensory training. Is that just drinking beer in the dark?
You can drink it in the dark, in the light, in the closet, out on the porch. We like to keep our palate sharp.
Okay.
And try beers just to make sure they taste right, and yeah.
So another perk I see is Cicerone training. Now you are Cicerone something.
Sure.
I think that's exactly what it says on your business card. Yeah. What kind of Cicerone are you when it comes to beer?
So I am just level 1. There are 4 levels.
Okay.
Level 2 is a pretty intense test that goes through. It's a whole. It's just like going back to school. It's essays. It's knowing beer styles.
Really?
There's a whole tasting portion, not just being able to tell what beer is what style, but also tasting off flavors as well.
So when it comes to getting that first level entry of the Cicerone, do they give you a belt? Do you get the white belt or the purple belt?
It is a Stein.
Okay.
You get a plastic Stein. And no, I'm just.
You get nothing. You got a grant.
I got a nice button.
Okay,
yeah.
But not the worst. It could have been a belt. Maybe Brewdog, if you're listening, maybe up your game. Let's get some belts. And there's one other thing that really caught my eye when it comes to, once again, these are staff perks of being a member of the Brewdog staff. Something is called Friday Punk O'Clock. Explain.
Yeah. So that just means wherever you're at, when it's time to quit, pop open a beer.
It's mandatory.
Encouraged,
highly encouraged. And if we're still on the road, like tonight, I'm going to be driving home. I'm going to be drinking one of my non-alcoholic beers that we make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That is passion to the employer there.
So is there an official Punk O'Clock time, or is it just when you're out?
Well, we're a global brewery, so it's wherever you're at around. People say it's 5 o'clock somewhere. We say it's 3 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, fair enough. I like that. Now you brought up the non-alcoholic beers, and it looks like that's something you guys are really going heavily into with some of it. I mean, what was the thought behind it? I mean, this been something that has been going on since the start of the brewery? Is it a newer thing?
It's been going on for a few years now. Strangely enough, non-alcoholic beers is one of the fastest growing categories in beer. It is. And over in Europe, where we're from, it's not really a frowned upon thing.
Sure.
Here in the States, there was kind of a stigma about alcoholic beer, but now it's not just for people that can't drink or won't drink. It's for people that want to have a couple beers, but then they got to wake up early in the morning, or they don't want a hangover tomorrow. They got a meeting, and so you pop a couple of non-alcoholic beers. You're still hanging out with your buddies. And
is there a Brewdog official hat where you could put 2 beers on it with straws that come down to your mouth? Because I think that would be the most efficient way to drink non-alcoholic beer while you're driving, but also get pulled over.
I am going to write a letter to the market.
Please.
There we go.
Yes, please,
absolutely.
Send that to the owners of Brewdog. And just it could be your idea, but maybe just CC me on the email.
No problem.
I appreciate that, Nick.
We're talking to Nick from Brewdog. Now, with the non-alcoholic beers, though, I think the big question for everybody is taste. So I mean, sure. How is the taste? When it comes to some of these non-alcoholic beers you guys are doing.
They're a little bit lighter in body.
Okay.
As they always are.
Yeah.
But they taste like beer.
Okay.
We have a hazy IPA. We have a regular IPA. We have a grapefruit IPA. We have a coffee stout, which does have a little bit of caffeine in it.
Right.
I mean, it tastes and drinks just like beer.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I've actually never dived into a non-alcoholic beer because of the major alcoholism that I currently live in.
So what are we going to be drinking today for beer for breakfast?
Well, we already mentioned the first beer,
Yep.
the Iron Maiden beer. We're now the official U.S. brewing partner with Iron Maiden. It's called
Sick.
Hellcat.
Love that.
It's a India Pale Lager.
Okay.
And then we've got our number one selling beer, Elvis Juice.
Oh, I love that. All right, let's drink some beer. It's coming up next. Here's Daughtry. Heavy is the Crown, Cotter and Marshall Show. Rock 106.1. Okay.
You got some awesome perks for your job, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like all of that.
We also have paternity leave.
Okay, so paternity leave. So how much time do you get off? I'm guessing this is when you adopt and or birth a dog into existence. How much time do you get off for paternity leave?
A full week.
A full week?
A full week.
That's amazing.
Paid time off.
Have you utilized a paternity week?
Unfortunately, I have not yet. Got my dog about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So.
And then, do you have to prove it? Do you have to be like, here's Samsonite?
I mean, I guess
the dog.
so, but I mean, I don't know how you just take a picture of the puppy and there you go. I mean,
with all the animals, I would have 3 months off. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah. And how long have you been with Brewdog now?
A little over a year now.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you come from another brewery, or
I did.
do we bring up them? Do we want to say their name?
That's fine.
Okay.
I worked for Brooklyn Brewery and 21st Amendment Brewery before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where were they based out of? Were they still in the Atlanta area? Was that where you worked out before?
Yeah, I was based in Atlanta, and I covered Georgia and Tennessee.
Okay, gotcha.
Before that, but Brooklyn Brewery's in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And then
that was a fun perk to be able to go to New York. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
With the location now in Columbus, Ohio, have you actually been to the facility in Columbus yet?
I have.
Yeah.
It is absolutely incredible.
Really?
Yes.
Because the last thing I think of Columbus, Ohio is anything cool.
There's a lot of corn.
Right?
A lot of corn, but you get to Cleveland, you get to Columbus, they're pretty cool towns.
Yeah, I've spent zero time in Ohio.
All right, I'm going to see how close it is.
It sounds like I need to go, though.
How close it is to Kent. Nope, 2 hours.
Yeah, it's the opposite corner.
Yep. Never mind.
But, we not only do we have a brewery there, we've got 3 brew pubs around the Columbus area. We've got one in Cincinnati. We've got one in Cleveland. We've got one in Pittsburgh, Indianapolis. We've got one coming to Atlanta.
Very cool.
That's cool. All right.
Yep.
Get an office out of there? I feel like you deserve an office at that place.
I would love an office there.
All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and I'll write that letter.
that in an email.
You write that other letter. I'll write this one. Nick deserves an office.
We got about 90 seconds. Don't forget, just get a little closer to the mic, too. If you can.
Yep.
All right.
What we'll do is, I obviously have the glasses in front of you. If you don't mind, we'll have you pour those beers out. Then we'll do it. We'll cheers and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the review, I don't know if you saw the videos. I think I sent you a link. But we'll go over the nose first. We'll go over the look of it. Then we'll drink. And then we rate it on a scale of 1 to 5. So
Got it.
We're pretty easy. Max says you could drink it in a box. You could drink it with a fox. You can drink it in the dark. And you can drink it while you fart. A little poem there for you, Nick, I guess.
It's,
beautiful
yes.
is what you wanted to say beautiful. I could tell.
A poet laureate.
Absolutely.
Of beer for breakfast.
Yes, she's incredible. We love Mac. We love Mac. Charles also generally is on the live chat. He's just not right now, but he's usually our poet laureate. He usually just throws down just the most beautiful pieces. You would weep if you actually heard them.
Sure.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Beer for Breakfast brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. You can check out the Bitter Roots. They're playing the Soundgarden tonight. Get more details on the Coach's Corner Facebook page. Joining us in studio for Beer for Breakfast, we've got Nick from Brewdog, Territory Manager for Georgia and Tennessee. Once again, thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the visit. Appreciate your time. And, of course, appreciate that you brought some beer in that we're going to try. And are we going right to the Iron Maiden up first?
Absolutely.
Yes, I love this.
Let's kickstart that one. So, Nick, if you don't mind grabbing that. This is the Brewdog Hellcat. It's an India Pale Ale coming in at 6%. This is a collaboration beer with the one and only Iron Maiden. And the can art and the box art. Cotter, if you don't mind grabbing the box art. Here, we'll just go ahead and throw that in there, please. Showing it off on the live stream.
Yeah,
if you
it's
happen
really
to be
cool.
watching. I mean, the box art's incredible. Nick, can you buy this locally in Storia? I know you said it just came out.
We do have some distribution here in Savannah. Are we allowed to say where?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your local Habershams.
Yep.
Both locations. And then other package stores that you get your craft beer at.
Perfect.
Yeah, they know us well at Habersham. It's totally fine.
too well. Cotter's been kicked out a couple times.
Just the one. So it is a India Pale Lager. So what exactly does that mean?
So it's a style of beer that is the perfect balance of a hoppy IPA and a crisp, clean lager.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's got a lot of different, the style, name. It's got a bunch of different, things that you can call it. Some people now call it a cold IPA.
Okay.
Just because lagers are fermented, cold, so it's an IPA, but it's brewed as a lager.
So Iron Maiden obviously put their name on this beer called Hellcat. I mean, did they have a lot to do when it came to like the brewing of this? Like, did they go to the brewery? Did they write the ingredients down? Did they say add 12 ounces of metal to it? Like what a sick guitar solo? Like how much influence does Iron Maiden have on this beer outside of its name on it?
Bruce Dickinson is, if anybody doesn't know, a huge craft beer nerd.
Yeah.
He's been doing beer with a brewery in the UK called Robinson's for years, and they wanted to do something here in the US. So he's pretty highly involved in what kind of beer he wanted us to brew. Now, whether or not he built the mash bill and the hops, and,
right.
When to dry hop, I'm not 100% sure on that, but he was very highly influential in what we were going to brew.
That's awesome. Well, let's go ahead and start the review. Let's start off with a big old smell. It's got that light hoppy lager light hoppy kind of nose to it, but obviously get a bit of that lager. I mean, it just feels fresh and clean, I guess, to the nose.
Yeah, I mean, it seems kind of like a lighter IPA kind of nose on it. I mean, you get the hops, you get the lager, but it's not like overpowering.
Nick, as a Cicerone, are we missing anything here?
No, I think you hit it right there on the head there.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's hold it up to the light real quick. I mean, it's his. I mean, what was it, the finger test? You can literally see right through it. I mean, you can see right through this beer. It's got some good carbonation running through it as well. This thing is ice cold. I can't wait to drink it. So let's not wait any longer. Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, it's not overly hoppy. I mean, it's got a very light hop taste to it, where it's got a great lager finish to this beer. And And with just the way it hits right now, I feel like I should just chug this for the rest of the morning.
And we will silently judge you
if you don't.
It's only 9:19 a.m. Don't
That's
judge.
fine.
Come on, guys.
It's punk o'clock, right? It's that time. So no, this is. I mean, you get you get the hops right up front, and like you said, not overpowering, but
Right.
they're there, which is really nice. Nice, clean finish off of this beer. This is, I mean, just different. I don't think I've ever had a pale or Indian pale lager before. This is a nice introduction into that style of beer. This is really, really good.
Yeah, it's really unique. And once again, it comes in at 6% alcohol, available at Habersham right now. This is the Brewdog Iron Maiden collaboration called Hellcat. Now, we did have a quick comment on the stream. I don't know if you can answer this. Nathan says, if Bruce didn't metal scream over the top of the kettle, I'm not going to buy it. So let's just go ahead and confirm he did. Yeah.
It comes with 3 ounces of metal.
Metal
scream
yes.
in every can.
Perfect. I mean, you can't beat that, guy. So on the beer scale of supremacy, Cotter, let's go ahead and start you off. The Iron Maiden Brewdog collaboration, Hellcat India Pale Ale. What do you give it?
So this is interesting because I mean, whenever we get a new band beer or hear of a band doing a beer, it's like we always want to try it. And most of them are very questionable.
Sure.
I mean, most of them have not been what we would consider good. This, though, is utterly delicious. It may be the best band beer we've had. I mean, I think the Metallica's the Metallica beer is really solid. This is really, really good. I'm going to go 3.9. I think this is a really, really good beer, and I love this style of beer. I may be hooked.
Well, I've never actually drank a beer with so much metal scream in it. It'd be hard for me not to review it highly. But before I get to mine, Nick, let's go ahead and get to your review quickly on the beer scale of supremacy. What would you give your very own, and feel free to be biased, Brewdog and Iron Maiden's Hellcat India Pale Lager?
I'm going to go 4.5. This has instantly become my favorite Brewdog beer.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's just, it's crushable. It's clean. It's got all the hops you want, but you can drink a bunch of them.
And also coming in at 6%, I mean, this is a great beach pool beer. I know we bring that up, on certain one of these beers that makes sense, but this is definitely something you go to Habersham, grab, and take directly to Tybee and just chug out there. I mean, these are chuggable. These are very, very crushable, and also great beers to do the Stone Cold Steve Austin bit where you throw them open and then your buddy has to catch them, then chug them. These are perfect for that.
I would hate to waste the beer.
But think of how cool you would look.
It would look very cool, but it's too good of a beer to waste.
But think of how cool you would look.
Oh, I know. Fair enough.
On the beer scale of supremacy, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 4.1. I actually love this beer.
Yeah.
Super easy, light, refreshing with a nice little hop finish to it. 6% alcohol. It hits on a different level, folks.
All right, we've got one more beer to drink. Elvis Juice. We got that coming up next with Nick from Brewdog. Cotter and Marshall Show. Rock 106.1.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is good.
That is very good.
Thank you.
Nailed it, Nick.
I will take all of that.
It's all me.
So much metal scream. They were like, "Do you want to put 4 ounces of metal scream in each beer?" And Nick's like, "No, you stop at 3, Bruce Dickinson. You son of a bitch." You can't talk to Bruce like that.
No,
Nick.
he doesn't take too kindly to that. Yeah.
You call him Sir Bruce. Is he knighted yet? I feel like Bruce Dickinson should be knighted. Is he from that area to be knighted? I'm not for sure.
I think so.
Nathan says, I'm going to buy this beer right now.
You should.
Now that he knows it has metal scream in it. So
I
think he just sold some beer.
Yeah, you should buy this beer. It's really good.
Let's see. I've actually never, someone just brought up the Megadeth beer. I don't think I've ever tried. Have you guys tried the Megadeth beer before? How is it?
From Unibrew?
Yeah.
It is. It's fantastic. It's a saison.
Really? Okay.
So you gotta like, a little, the farmhouse beers, but I think it's fantastic.
What's the best band beer you've ever had? That's actually a great question for you.
Oh,
so I'm guessing you've probably had your fair share.
Yeah, of course. You got to try them all, right? Notwithstanding this one,
yeah.
The Megadeth beer was absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever...
it holds a special place in my heart too, Rust in Peace was one of my favorite albums when I was 8, which is weird.
It's weird. I can't remember my favorite. I remember I really loved the Sublime Mexican Lager. I don't remember what company did it, but I remember they had a really great Mexican lager. Yep. But the one beer I hated was the AC/DC. I don't
was
remember
rough.
which AC/DC beer it was, because I think they've had a couple now, and they've actually just released 2 more.
Okay.
With their latest album, they've done a couple more beers, but they did one probably 5 years ago that was possibly the worst beer I've ever had in my life. It was
rough.
brutal.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'll have to look it up, but that's an all-timer bad band beer.
Not sure I tried that one.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. This may be it, actually. It was AC/DC German beer. Actually, it said German beer, Australian hard rock, and it was just called premium beer.
Yeah.
Oh, dope. Yeah, you're getting something good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally good when they can't really describe what the hell they just put in the can.
That
We'd
one
like
was
to call
not my
this
favorite.
beer.
So this actually is not the only collaboration beer that we do.
You
with
do a non-alcoholic beer.
We do
Yes.
with Lamb of God.
There you go. Lamb of God. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
What is that one called?
It's called Ghost Walker.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's one of our most. So we do a lot of e-commerce with our non-alcoholic beers because people just like, I don't know if they feel weird going to a package store.
Sure.
But it's our number one selling
Really?
non-alcoholic beer
Okay.
on our website.
On the website. Okay.
And how long have you guys been doing that with Lamb of God?
I want to say 2 years.
And it's still going strong. I mean, it's still going
yeah.
obviously very strong.
Absolutely. The packaging is
Yeah.
awesome.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now as you speak. All right, that is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Some people get upset that it's a non-alcoholic beer. I'm like, well, whatever.
I
You
want to
just switch one with the other. You have a real beer and the non-alcoholic beer.
I'm gonna have to try some then, because I've had like O'Doul's or whatever from the non-alcoholic, right? From the non-alcoholic kind of stuff. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, I would love to try a non-alcoholic IPA.
Yeah, the artwork for the can itself is totally sick. And can Georgia get rid of its ancient laws of not being able to have beer mailed to you? It sucks so bad. Can you talk on that, or can you not talk on that?
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Georgia has a lot of arcane laws that just don't make any sense anymore.
We got about a minute. We're gonna come out of the stop set.
They're trying their very best to get stuff done.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I still remember when I first moved here, and it was a Sunday, and I went to Kroger, and I got some beer, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Buying some beer." It's past noon. They're like, "It's Sunday." I'm like, "Yeah, you can't sell it." I'm like, "Serious?"
Yeah, so according to your website, you can't ship to Arkansas, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Kansas, Missouri, and Massachusetts. So if those states could suck less, including our very own, that'd be great.
I will write them all strongly worded.
Yes.
I hope so. We had so many letters
I
to
know,
write
so
out.
I know.
Jesus, Nick.
Take note. All right, we got about 15 seconds.
Can I just do a Post-it note?
Sure.
Just for that.
Voice to text. I don't know.
A voice to text. Let's fly a banner over with an airplane. I know that sounds expensive, but it'll be well worth it.
All right, guys, be right back. It is Beer for Breakfast, brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. You can check out the Bitter Roots tonight in the Sound Garden. Of course, joined in studio by Nick from Brewdog, and we just had the Iron Maiden beer, which is utterly fantastic. I mean, that is Indian Pale Lager, a style I am not familiar with, but I'm going to search out now and maybe just that beer specifically, because it's really good.
Yeah, it's available right now at Habersham. Once again, it is the Iron Maiden Hellcat from Brewdog, coming in at 6% alcohol. It's weird. It's an IPA, but it's a lager. There's a lot of stuff going on in this beer, and that's why we all loved it so much. We rated it very highly, and once again, you can pick it up this weekend at any Habersham in the area.
All right, so this next beer, Elvis Juice, you say is your bestseller?
Yes.
Okay. So what exactly do we have here with this beer?
So, despite what a lot of people would imagine, picking up a beer called Elvis Juice, no, it is not banana and peanut butter. This is a 6.5% grapefruit infused IPA.
Okay. Is there a story behind the name Elvis Juice, or?
Probably the best story I've ever had to tell about a beer.
Okay.
So, when we announced, like you said earlier, we're from Scotland. We were,
Right.
we used to import beer from Scotland,
Right.
Here to the U.S. But if you can imagine, number one, importing beer is very expensive.
Yeah.
And putting hoppy beers on a container ship, unair conditioned for 2 months, creates not the best product.
No.
So we announced that we were going to open up a brewery in the U.S., and that was when grapefruit IPAs were super, super, super popular. So we knew we wanted to brew this beer, but we didn't have a name for it yet. So the owners, they sat down and they tried to think of the most American thing they could think of. And I guess Elvis is still really big in the UK. Who knew?
Sure, yeah.
So we called it Elvis Juice. Immediately got sent a cease and desist letter from the Elvis estate for using the name, right? So James and Martin, the two owners, they went and both changed their names to Elvis legally so they could have an argument in court that they were just naming the beer after themselves, and sent a cease and desist letter to the Elvis estate for using their name.
That is amazing. Talk about commitment to the brand.
Absolutely.
So they legally changed their names. Did they legally change it back, or are they still known as Elvis?
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
You can't, you can't give it up that quickly. You know?
Prove I'm not Elvis. Maybe they're Elvis.
Maybe they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. Reincarnated.
Elvis just split himself into two people. He was very large at the end. That's an incredible story.
That is good.
Absolutely. All right, so let's dive into our review of Brewdog's Elvis Juice. I mean, with a story like that, you almost want to give it a 5 right out the gate, but we do have to review it. So let's take a big sniff of this thing.
The nose on it alone, it's like I get so much grapefruit.
Woo!
I mean, it's like smelling grapefruit juice.
Yeah, that's a slap your mama across the face grapefruit type of smell. I mean, it is very pertinent inside of this thing. Holding it up to the light, you're getting kind of a golden type of lager feel to it, right? Right, Nick?
Yeah, it's a little maltier than your typical IPA. So it is a little bit darker than a regular the typical IPA, but it's a nice golden color.
Cotter?
Let's drink.
Okay. Cheers, gentlemen. As the young kids say, that beer slaps. That beer slaps, Nick.
Sure.
Did you know that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is, I mean, the amount of grapefruit that is in that beer. I mean, from the nose to the taste. I mean, it's like normally it's like, you get like an IPA that's got the notes of grapefruit or a hints of grapefruit. There's no, it's not hiding here. It's right out in front, and it's just going to smack you a few times.
100%. And as this beer warms up, I mean, that grapefruit taste is just going to be more and more pertinent in your face. This thing, I don't remember if I've ever really had any Brewdog beers before this experience, but trust me, you made a fan of me, Nick. You made a fan of me today. Trust me, I'll be running to Habersham to grab some Brewdog beers. So, Cotter, let's start off with you. Let's go ahead and review this beer. On the beer scale of supremacy, what do you give Brewdog's Elvis Juice?
I now wish I would have gone higher on the Hellcat, because that of the two, I like the Hellcat better, but I really like this beer as well. Went 3.9 on that. I'm going to go 3.7598 on this one.
So many numbers.
It's really good. The Hellcat just a smidge better, but I mean, just personally, but that, once again, if you like grapefruit, this is the beer for you.
Yeah, and this, once again, comes in at 6.5% alcohol. So, Nick, on the beer scale of supremacy, what would you give your own Brewdog Elvis Juice?
I'll give it a solid 3.9.
Yeah, I mean, this beer, I mean, you said it was kind of the standard. The standard is the standard when it comes to Brewdog, especially in America. And Elvis Juice, I mean, bestseller, and it hits so well. I think 3.9 is exactly the place to be when it comes to this beer. I'm going to give it the same exact rating. Very great stuff, once again, from the guys at Brewdog. Nick, before we jump off the air, anything coming up with Brewdog outside of the new Iron Maiden beer? Is there any events maybe in the Savannah area that people should be on the lookout for? Any stuff happening in Atlanta? Obviously, a very quick trip that people can go check out when it comes to Brewdog?
Well, I had an event last night at the World Beer downtown. Probably still have a little bit of beer left over there, so swing by there, have a couple pints.
Nice.
In Atlanta, you're going to be able to come to our very own Brewdog Atlanta bar.
So cool.
That's going to be opening up in the spring next year, right off the Beltline. So we're really, really excited about putting Brewdog a brick and mortar in Georgia.
Yeah, you could just make sure when grand opening, maybe just invite us. Because we're friends
Absolutely.
now. Yeah,
We're in.
I'll look for that letter in the mail.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Ever in town, you're more than welcome to stop by and just drink some beers in the morning. That's what it's all about. All right, we've got Marshall's music news coming up next. It is the Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1, Stone Temple Pilots. It's Big Empty, Rock 106.1.
Dog beer before. I think I may have had one before, and I honestly just don't remember. It's been so long.
Right.
But thanks for the reintroduction into the Brewdog line. I just
Absolutely.
ridiculously good stuff. What else should I try? What else is out there that I can dive into?
So we've got, all the kids love their hazy IPAs. So of course we've got
those
one.
kids nowadays.
I know. Our number 2 selling beer is called Hazy Jane. It's a New England style IPA.
Right.
7.2%. It's out there at Habershams. You can even find some at Kroger too.
Yeah.
We've got a new fall seasonal that just got released called Fake Empire. It's a 5% red ale.
Okay.
Super tasty.
Do you guys mess with any pumpkin beers? I'm a basic ass bitch when it comes to pumpkin. Okay, just ask. I gotta ask.
No pumpkin.
You're
No
like,
pumpkin.
screw you, man.
How dare you?
Before you take off, I do want you to sign the chalk wall behind us. So this is where all of our guests have found their way onto it, from every beer guy to a lady who somehow walked in here and didn't puke at us. Everyone is up on that wall, including Mitch Steele from New Realm.
One of the nicest people on the
super nice,
planet,
man.
Yeah.
One of the coolest, smartest beer guys we've ever came in contact with. I remember when we first got that interview booked. They're like, "You got Mitch Steele?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" He's like, "You don't know who you're messing with." And I'm like, "I don't. Tell me." So yeah, it was really cool to have him stop in studio.
Godfather of IPAs right there.
He 100% is. I mean, he wrote a literal book on it, which, I mean, we could barely write a letter, apparently, between the two of us. He wrote a book, so that man obviously is a genius. Yeah, but feel free to
sign the wall.
To sign the wall.
Do we have anybody here?
No one's here. We'll take a little bit of a selfie.
Take a selfie.
Yeah, we'll take a selfie. We'll take a quick picture so we throw it up on the Instas.
We have about 2.5 minutes. Nice.
Done.
Nice.
I
We
like it.
appreciate that. All right, let's see. We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, we
have
got 2
to
minutes.
Work again. Here, let's see if I can fit in a terrible guy selfie. There it is. Hold on. Make sure. Okay, that still looks terrible. Perfect. Awesome, man. So what's the rest of your day look like, Nick?
Go and hit a few more accounts, go see some people, drink some beer, and then head back to Atlanta for the evening.
Do you get to drink beer with the rest of the people you get to see this morning? Because I'm pretty sure we're the coolest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll see how it goes.
So what time are you do you have to sneak off by a certain time, or?
It doesn't matter, because getting into Atlanta is going to be a nightmare, whether I leave at noon or if I leave at 3. So I'll probably start the journey around 3:34.
So do you service every do you have to go to major cities in Georgia all over the place? Do you go to Atlanta, Valdosta, Savannah? Do you go to all the
Macon, Augusta?
Really?
Yep. Columbus, and then I also go to Tennessee. So I'm going to Knoxville tomorrow morning for a beer festival. Chattanooga, Nashville, Memphis, all over the place.
How often are you not on the road?
2 weeks.
Okay.
It's about 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off.
Okay.
How do you take care of does your dog with you right now? Where's
I have
your
a
dog?
wife. I have a wife.
Thank God.
Yes, and she's wonderful.
Right.
Very understanding.
How cool is it that for 2 weeks out of the month you're just like, bye?
It's fun. It does take a toll, sitting in hotels and just being on the road and driving. But I talk about beer all day long, so things could be worse.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Got about 20. Are you good for music news or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into Pop Evil.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys, be right back. Good morning. Thank you for hanging out. Cotter and Marshall Show. It is time for Marshall's Music News.
So Pop Evil obviously having some issues out on the road. Lead singer Lee Kakady, he tested positive earlier this week for COVID-19, which came into a bit of an issue for us specifically because Pop Evil is supposed to bring their tour this coming Monday to Victory North Savannah. Now, that date has been rescheduled to Tuesday, August 31st. So we're only going to miss them by about a little over a week, 8-day separation. So once again, the new date for Pop Evil is going to be on Tuesday, August 31st, same place, Victory North with 0936 and Broken Love. If you have your tickets, hold on to them. They're still good for that day. But once again, Pop Evil still coming to Savannah. Thankfully, it isn't canceled due to COVID. Just going to be showing up 8 days later.
All right, we got one more story to go, and then we'll wrap up the show for your Friday. Cotter and Marshall, Rock 106.1.
Woo. Yeah. There you
Good
go, man.
stuff.
Well, thanks so much for coming in, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
if you need to take off or if you just want to hang out, we're just going to be literally sitting here. It's your call, whatever you want to do. Next time you come, though, I demand one of those shirts because they're incredible.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, I go up to Columbus and hold them up. Their merch department. I'll be like, oh yeah, all the guys in Georgia and Tennessee need these.
All of them.
All of
yes.
them.
Yes, of course.
So you said you're going to Tennessee, Knoxville for a beer fest tomorrow, and so you work the beer fest, right?
Set up a tent.
Oh man,
Pour beer all day long. This one's broken up into 2 sessions because of COVID, so they're trying to keep the
crowds under control.
Exactly. So it's going to be a long one tomorrow.
And then, are you just by yourself, or do they send a helper? Or
I hope. I hope. Every beer festival is a little bit different. Here in Georgia, you have to have a volunteer to pour because of
rules.
Laws, Georgia laws, which are fun that we already talked about.
Yeah.
Tennessee might be a little bit different, but I'm hoping they give me a helper so that I can not have to pour beer for 8 hours.
Yeah, no kidding. Is it 2 4-hour sessions?
It's I think it's actually 2 3-hour sessions with a break in the middle.
Yeah.
So. And then it doesn't end until 9 o'clock. So I usually I would come home after that, but I'm not trying to get on the road at 10 o'clock and be home at 2.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
Yeah, you'd pass out.
I mean, they used to do the Savannah Craft Beer Fest back in the day. They do 2 sessions. They would do it early and then late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think my first year in Savannah was the only time they did that, and they moved to just like the one 6-hour session, which is way too long.
It's fun for about the first 3 hours, and then the people that have been there since the beginning and plan to stay until the end. That's just bad news bears right there.
Yeah, and then you get to the point where everyone's dropping their glasses, and if it's glass, they're shattering, and everyone in the place is screaming. Nathan asked me to ask you this question. He said, "Ask him about beers inside stuffed squirrels." You need to what's going on?
Yeah, that was a beer. So we went back and forth with a German brewery called, forgive the pronunciation, Shoresbrau. They wanted to make the highest ABV beer, and James Martin said, no, we're going to make the highest ABV beer. So we went back and forth. Right in the middle was a beer called End of History, which was a $20,000 bottle of an Eisbock, which is a strange, bizarre style, and it came in a taxidermy squirrel.
$20,000.
$20,000.
So,
you poured it out and it fell out of the squirrel's mouth?
Not the $20,000 cash. No,
wow,
no cash included.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was a bottle stuffed in a taxidermy squirrel.
How high was the ABV on it?
That one was 30. I want to say 30. I don't remember, 35%.
Damn.
They went 30 and then 31 and 32. We actually just ended the feud by brewing a collaboration beer called Strength in Numbers.
Okay.
It's a 57.8%.
You're like doing a shot of whiskey.
Yeah. Well, we packaged it up in 40 milliliter bottles.
Okay.
Just because.
Yeah.
You don't want. I mean, you can't have 12 ounces of that.
Yeah.
Even 1 ounce of it will. That'll do a number on you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And have you tried it or no?
No, not yet. It has not been shipped here to the U.S. yet. I think we're supposed to get a few bottles.
Okay.
And you plan on getting your hands on this, I'm guessing.
I sure hope so. I can't sell it in Georgia because there's an ABV cap of 14%.
Right.
Yeah, I plan on trying it when I can.
Damn.
Why not?
I all day long.
That sounds like a drive. Like if they're like, it's here in Columbus, I'd be like, I'll be up there in 8 hours. Man. Do not move this.
They invented airplanes so you don't have to drive.
Well, yeah.
It's nice.
I didn't think of that. Okay, fine. Fly there.
That drive to Ohio sucks.
I didn't realize how rich you were, Nick. God.
The perks from the job, man. We went over this.
Oh, like it's one thing they didn't put down on the list is private plane.
Yeah, that's true.
Each employee gets a private plane. Must fly it yourself, though. Can you drink and fly? Is that a thing?
As a pilot, I'm guessing you're probably not allowed to be drunk. The landing thing is going to be difficult if you've had a few, I would think.
I mean,
the flying thing, once you're up in the air,
the runway is very...
just nothing going on.
That's fine.
The runway is very wide.
Well, no. I
Can't
mean,
miss it by much.
No, that's not... I'm not worried about missing it. I'm worried about hitting it.
I don't know.
All right.
Don't knock it until you try, is what I'm saying.
We got Volbeat and then last story.
This is just more of the Slipknot replacing 9 Inch Nails, so
Cool.
It'll be pretty short.
Sounds good.
Well, all right then. Yeah, it's been a fun day, man. Thank you once again for coming in and hanging out with us. Thank you for that beer. Yeah. Unless it's just prop beer. Screw you.
No. That would be a rude thing to just let it sit there and take it away.
Do you have prop beer? That's actually a really good question. I mean, you do a lot of, I'm guessing, in-store stuff. I mean, do you have like fake beer that you have like available?
No, I keep if I empty out the box, I'll just keep the box there so people can see it. But I don't have like props that I use. I mean,
we're just gonna open the box before
there's more beer. There's more beer where it came from.
It's not a Carrot Top show where you pull stuff out of a trunk.
That's a rude. That'd be a really rude thing to do.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna leave. It's just gonna be full of rocks when we open it. Be like, what the hell, man? All right, got about a minute and a half.
So
you guys do this once a month?
So we do beer for breakfast every Friday.
Every Friday. Okay.
Every Friday at 9 a.m. And then we're off. This is like not a promotional period for us where they like do our ratings or anything. So we've been taking a lot of vacations on Fridays. So we've been taking a lot of Fridays off. So I think next week we're off, but the following Friday after that, we do a mix of like people from the beer industry and then obviously like people who just like beer. So our next guest is Travis Jowden. Yeah. He is the guy who does the Hot Grits podcast. He won Best Local Podcast here in Savannah. Kind of a sports podcast. He actually does quite a few. But he's our next guest that are going to be joining us in studio. And then I think we have lined up a few other guests, including our buddy Hodge. Hodge runs Southern Barrel Brewing Company. He's like the taproom manager over on the South Carolina side. So
nice.
He's one of our guests that I can at least remember coming in to join us for beer for breakfast.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, so we've had a great lineup of people. We've had people from local breweries to a lot of people of Atlanta like Scofflaw. We had Stephanie in and a lot of guys from distribution companies here. So we've had a good run of them. It's been a lot of fun to mess around with.
That guy's got about 15. Be right back. All right, before we get out of here, one more time, Marshall's music news.
So the news, we talked about it a little bit earlier today, but I want to say it again. Unfortunately, 9 Inch Nails and the Deftones have both canceled their touring plans for the rest of 2021. Now, that obviously affects us with Welcome to Rockville. No replacements have been announced yet for that show, but 9 Inch Nails was also supposed to play a very big show in Chicago. That one's called Riot Fest. Now, as soon as they said they were off, they had a replacement ready to go. You ever heard of them? Slipknot.
Who?
Yeah, Slipknot. So they are already going to be replacing 9 Inch Nails for Riot Fest. So once again, 9 Inch Nails, Deftones, they have canceled their tour plans for the rest of this year. Hopefully, it's a very unique case. Hopefully, we don't see more of this. But I'm excited to see that Slipknot has joined Riot Fest because if Slipknot joins Welcome to Rockville and plays the 9 Inch Nails, I would love that. And
That'd
I think
be
a
great.
lot of people would love to see that too. So there you go. That is the latest with Marshall's Music News, and hopefully the latest and last change we see to Welcome to Rockville.
All right, Cotter and Marshall Fantasy Football League is here. You can now get signed up on the website. Got 12 slots to fill. We're going to fill 6 from the website, 6 from on air, so you can get signed up right now. Also, speaking of beer, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, Coastal Empire Beer Company celebrating their 10th anniversary in Savannah. That goes down tomorrow night starting at 6. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you for hanging out on air and on the stream. We'll talk to you Monday morning at 6 o'clock. Rock 106.1.
All right, guys on the stream, thanks for hanging out with us for the entire show today. Nick, thank you to you for coming in, hanging out. Make sure to check out Brewdog beers. They're available at Habersham, Kroger, other places. Just look for them. And then the Iron Maiden beer you said is available at Habersham today.
Yes.
It is fantastic. Go buy yourself some. Plus the can and box itself is just badass. Look at that. Look at that. Badass. All right, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday at 6.